And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we have some ongoing drama with Fulton County DA Fani Willis. We have some receipts. We have new information. This case is not going away, and she might go to the penitentiary, Big Rock, Little Rock. Speaking about going away, we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon says, hey, you guys on the left might want to be a little bit more courteous to your fellow neighbor. Talking about, oh, they're Trump supporters. They're not really people. They're dumb, all this, that, and the third. Well, let's try having a little bit of understanding, have some respect for one another, rather than just trying to attack people based on their support of Trump and conservatives and Republicans. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the brick lady, Rita Usman, she's on the run, wanted, dead or alive. I'm exaggerating about the dead or alive part, but she is on the run after being charged with felony theft over the GoFundMe scam. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Sports Illustrated. It looks like they've gone woke and gone broke, but maybe they were trying to go woke while they were already broke to generate some money. Obviously, that didn't work. Speaking about genders, the gender pay gap, is it a real thing? If it is a real thing, then what explains it? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to you guys on the YouTube. Shout out to you guys on the Facebook. Shout out to you guys listening to me on your favorite audio streaming platform, because this is a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, where else? Spotify, etc. All my links will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. So we had a whole lot going on. There was a whole lot happening, and I don't know where to start. Shout out to you over on the Facebook, Derek, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. You already know what it is. But we got a lot to go through today. We got quite a few videos I've not shown you, quite a few exclusive things, some really interesting and thought-provoking clips. But first things first, y'all know how I do. Shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Their link will be in the box, or just type into your browser patriotpost.us and tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll find articles for each video that I produce. And in the articles, you'll be able to find sources from left, right, independent, whatever you want, and also full videos. If you want to see those there on the website, everything will be uncensored. If I can post it and it's legal, it'll be right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com. Again, that is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com/contact. You can find my email address, my snail address, meaning my UPS box. You can also find my social media, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not going to call it X. Everything that you need to contact me will be available on my website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. And also, as I say, every single stream, please be aware of the scammers. These guys exist all over the interwebs. All right. And they're not just on my channel. They're on other people's channels as well, especially on YouTube. When I post a new video, what'll happen is I'll post a video. One of you guys will comment, and then someone will reply to your comment with a picture that may be my picture they stole, with a name that may look like my name. And then they will talk about, hey, can you DM me? Can you contact me on this random 45-digit phone number, talking about Bitcoin, Forex, some kind of get-rich-quick scheme? Hey, can you send me some Apple iTunes gift cards? Can you send me 5,000 Naira? All this and that and the third. Don't do it. Don't nobody got no time for that. If you want to contribute to me, you can do so by things that are right here on the video. You got Super Chats, you got Cash App, you got PayPal. All those things are listed right here. If you are conversing with some random kind of sketchy email, all right, I'm one of 115 Nigerians and a 200 square foot bungalow in Lagos at hotmail.com. That's probably not me. All right. If the email says, you know what, I weigh 25,978 pounds and I live in Kiev, Ukraine, but I just left from Lithuania recently during the war at gmail.com, that might not be me. Okay. That might not be me. So please don't get scammed. If you want to contact me, all my information is on my website. If it's not there, it's not me. Don't get scammed. Ain't nobody got no time for that. So we got quite a few things going on. Also, go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website. Again, ablmerch.com. All right, we got a whole lot to get through, and thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Now, I got some interesting stuff, some things that are a little bit a little different, but not really. Now, I put up the meme on the last stream about the it's like a PETA meme talking about what's a pet and what is an animal that you would eat and where do you draw the line, all this and that and the third. Now, I showed you guys that, pardon me. I showed you guys that, but this is a chart. Now, if you're going to ask me the validity, I don't really know, but I think it's pretty much on point. And it goes from the animals that are consumed the most, or pardon me, from the least consumed to the most consumed. Now, I want you guys to guess what are some of the least consumed to some of the most consumed. We're talking about reptiles. We're talking about anything that moves, okay? We're talking about things in the water, things on land, any kind of animal. What do you think worldwide are the most consumed animals? And what are some of the least consumed? What animals are actually eaten that you probably wouldn't even think of? The typical stuff you would think of, what's that? Beef, pork, chicken. That's what you would think. Beef, pork, chicken, that's the main things, the main animals everybody eats. But what about deer meat, venison? What about bear? What about armadillo? What about things of this nature that you might eat? What about coon, raccoon? What about some other animals that people don't really think about? I saw this video. Oh man, I got to find it since I'm thinking about it. Sometimes I start talking and I think about certain videos. But there was a woman during the flood in West Virginia, and she was on camera, and she caught a fish from the floodwater. I got to find that particular clip, but I know I'm not going to be able to find it right now. But, I mean, you'd be surprised what people eat just on a regular, everyday basis. Just regular, everyday people just eat all kind of random stuff. So what do you guys think? And then we're talking about worldwide, so all over the world. You know, you never know what somebody is going to actually eat. Okay, let me see. Octopus, rats, rabbit, frog, cats, dogs, beaver. You know, fish, of course, everybody going to eat just like regular fish. Pork is the best. Deer to chicken, of course. And if you guys are wondering why I'm talking about random animal names, I'm talking about these names because I was asking people what do they think are the most consumed animals in the world. All right. So you guys let me know. Octopus, etc. Snake, cats. Now, let's go ahead and show the actual chart. And it's not going to be a chart that says what the names are. Like it won't verbally say it. So I'll just read it as it goes along. All right. So you already know what some of them, with some countries, what they do with certain animals, you already know what it is. And it's going to show How many of these are consumed every year? All right. And worldwide. So let's check this out. And again, if you're going to ask me for a source for this list, hey, good luck with that. So the first thing, turtles, the very first animal, turtles, 50,000 per year are allegedly eaten in the world.
Year.
All right, we won't need to have the sound. So crocodiles, 83,000. Buffalo, 100,000. Sea urchin, 400,000. Camel, 800,000. And again, this is annually worldwide. So according to this list, 800,000 camels are eaten worldwide. Do you believe it? Horses, 5 million. I believe that because in some parts of the world, you may get horse meat in your McDonald's burger, allegedly, from what I heard. I believe that. Cats, 10 million. I believe it. Tilapia, 12 million. I think that might be kind of low. Tilapia, only 12 million. Maybe that's just popular in the U.S. because tilapia is pretty much everywhere. It's ubiquitous. You can't really escape tilapia. A lot of times when you go to restaurants, like even the fast food joint, you get fish, it'll be tilapia. And tilapia is probably the worst fish you can eat. Tilapia might be worse than eating pork, but I don't want to get too gross on the stream, so I digress. You can just look it up for yourself on that one. Above tilapia, we have snail with 15 million. Dogs, 25 million. I believe it. Pigeon, 60 million pigeon. I don't know if I believe that. How are you going to capture that many? Like, they fly. So what, are they like just raising the pigeons in coops and then they eat them that way? How does that really work? And again, these are animals that humans eat every year, allegedly. All right. Guinea pigs, 70 million. Now, does a guinea pig include rats and mice and things of that nature? Shark, 100 million. Come on. I don't know if I believe that. How are you going to eat 100 million shark? But then again, maybe that's right because, you know, like you go to some of these countries, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, where they can do fishing a lot. That might be true. Don't they have the thing called shark soup? That might be pretty normal. Cow, 300 million. I definitely believe that. Lamb, 500 million. I believe that. I actually eat lamb a lot myself. Lamb is very, very good. It's a nice little, lamb is, to me, is like a lean kind of meat. Yeah, I like it a lot. Good texture. Lobster, 500 million. Turkey, 656 million. Salmon, 750 million for salmon. I believe that. Yeah, salmon, that's everywhere. Tuna, 900 million. Rabbit, 1.2 billion rabbits eaten every year by humans. 1.2 billion. Do you believe it? Pig, 1.5 billion. Now, we know what the top dog is going to be, but do we? Octopus, 2 billion. Now, do you believe that we eat 2 billion octopus every year? Let me know in the chat, because again, this list is not confirmed. Some of these on the list are pretty obvious, but some of them are kind of iffy. The pig, obviously, I would say the pig is consumed more than everything except for chicken, in my opinion. That's what I would say. But again, that might be a cultural thing because, you know, pig, that's considered haram in Islam. And I don't think they eat pig under the Jewish faith either. So certain religions don't eat certain things. And a lot of the religion covers a lot of the world. If not for the fact that pig was considered haram, I think it'd be way up on the list. But chicken is universal. So octopus, 2 billion. Oysters, 2 billion. Shout out to the oysters, raw oysters. That's a like that right, that plate right there, that is a good meal. Goose, 2.1 billion. Duck, 2.9 billion. Shrimp, 3 billion shrimp. Now we know what the top dog is. We already know what the top dog is. We don't even got to show it, but I will. With we're not even there yet. 14 billion sardines. And then the top dog, 75 billion chicken. I believe that. Chicken everywhere. You go to Korea, Japan, China, America, South America, the whole world eats chicken and a lot of it. Okay. So shout out to chicken. Yeah, I can eat chicken every day almost. So that's the list right there of the top animals eaten worldwide. All right. They're a delicacy in the UK. Speaking about pigeons, really? That's crazy. That's totally crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Now, no fun, no hope about the pigs. I don't think the pigs are eaten by everybody. You see what I'm saying? I think the pigs are only eaten by certain people, certain cultures, because it's considered an unclean animal in Islam and also under Judaism, if I'm not mistaken. Cow was on there. Absolutely. Cow had how many? Cow was kind of low on the list, actually. Cow only had 300 million. And I think that cow might be considered a sacred animal under Hinduism. If I'm wrong, y'all please correct me. Shout out to all the Indians and everybody practices that particular religion. But cow's low on the list, 300 million. Cow was much lower than lamb. Lamb has what? 1 point something. Hold on. Lamb at 500 million. Okay, goat was on the list. Was goat kind of low? I think goat might be, well, wouldn't lamb and goat be considered the same thing? So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on. All right, so yeah, shout out to the world diet. You know what I tell you? I tell you one thing. What's not consumed a whole lot around the world? Kale and broccoli, these fake vegetables. But I don't want to get too deep, so I digress. Shout out to kale. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, I think I want to start with some positive stuff beyond the food stuff. Okay, I think I want to go there. Some more heartwarming type videos. And then I'm going to get into some of the more heavy stuff. Now, you guys may have seen that wildly popular Cat Williams interview. Let me tell you how popular the Cat Williams interview is. I was looking at some stats about this. Matter of fact, hold on. I got to put that on the screen. From one video. So people always ask me about being a content creator. And they say, hey, man, how can I become a content creator? How can I do what you do? It's like, look, man, like it's not for everybody. And if you need to be able to make content while you're still working. Did you see that lady that had become homeless because she was trying to be a content creator? Like she went to Texas or somewhere with her kids and then wound up homeless talking about, oh, I want to be a content creator. And then I find myself homeless. It's like, if you're going to do stuff like that, I don't consider being a content creator, but I digress. The whole point is that one interview with Cat Williams netted the Club Shay Shay podcast almost 1 million subscribers from one interview. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, so here it is. Here's the actual graphic I'm looking for, and I'm going somewhere with this. So y'all hang tight. Y'all stay with me. Okay, y'all stay with me. So look at this here. So from the Cat Williams interview with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay, 909,000 YouTube subscribers gained, surpassing 2.4 million from one video. One. So my point behind the whole influencer comment is just keep plugging, just keep putting out stuff. Keep your day job. Don't quit your job where you actually make your money. But if you want to be a content creator, let it be a hobby on the side. And if it blows up, let it blow up. For me, that's what it was. When I first started, it was something I did on the side. I still was doing my regular graphic design work every single day. Still had my clients, still had my regular thing. But I was doing my YouTube on the side for like 1.5 years before it took over. I started in 2015, and by 2017, I still had web clients and graphic design clients. So if you could keep on being consistent and putting out stuff, one time is sometimes all it takes to change your entire life. You can see from this one video, 900,000 subscribers in one video and counting. And they will probably net 1 million subs when it's all said and done. Probably in the next, not even when it's all said and done, probably in the next couple weeks, they'll get to 1 million subs off one video. All right. Now, where I wanted to go next was one of the things that Cat Williams said in the interview is that he read like 3,000 books a year as a child. People said, how can you do that? I don't really believe it, but maybe it's true. Now, here's a video of a young man talking about his love for reading. So let's go ahead and check this out right quick.
Reading.
All right, I'm start from the top with sound.
Of reading. I personally read every day and absolutely love the adventure of reading. I will stand before you and speak with confidence and not be afraid. Reading every day has made me smarter. Reading has also strengthened my vocabulary and language skills, allowing me to pronounce new and big words without even thinking about it. Reading has incredibly enriched my long-term memory.
That right there is amazing. So this little boy, he can't be no more than what? 3, 4 years old, 5 years old max. No more than 5 years old. He's speaking in front of some older kids, maybe even some adults in a classroom, talking about the benefits of reading. And he's talking about how he reads every day, reads all the time, and reading has strengthened his vocabulary. It allows him to pronounce words easier than if he did not read all the time. And this is part of the reason why I notice little things. If you got a traumatic household, how can I say? If you have a household that's not really operating properly, kids that are acting the fool, a lot of times they don't read at all. You go to their house, there's no books, there's no reading going on. When I was a kid, when I was his age, I was not as advanced as he is, but I was along that same level. I would read all the time. That's the reason why I wear glasses right now, is because I was always having my face in the book, like that close to my face, reading all the time, to the point where I became nearsighted. That's why I wear glasses. A lot of these Asian kids is the same thing. They're wearing glasses when they're 5 years old because they read all the time. And when you read a lot, it allows you to be able to gain vocabulary. It allows you to be able to understand the English language, because when you see words written properly and you see it in full context, that gives you better understanding. This is why you know your, and your, two, and two, etc. You understand? I see people all the time right now today that don't understand proper sentence structure, syntax. They have no idea because they didn't really grow up reading. They're just trying to go to school and barely paying attention to class and get what they can from that. Maybe they might read stuff on social media, but that's about it. So reading is very important. And shout out to my main man, Cat Williams, for talking about how important reading is, and said that he read 3,000 books a year as a kid. So shout out to him. Now, here's another feel-good story about a NBA basketball player, Mitchell Robinson. Let's check it out. This is kind of an older clip, but not really. I think it might have come out last year, toward the end of last year. But let's watch it anyway.
The fact that you two are roommates this season, how did that come together?
You know, first of all, my wife passed away in September. And Mitchell, when my wife's in the hospital, Mitchell came each day to visit her and came very close to myself and my wife. And after the funeral, Mitchell told everyone that he was going to bring me to New York with him. He said, Coach, there's no reason you stay down here in Louisiana anymore. You come to New York with me and enjoy yourself and get your mind back straight, because you know how much you loved your wife, how much I loved your wife. And it's just been a great situation, Rebecca.
The fact that you
So if you missed what happened, Mitchell Robinson, the NBA player, invited his high school coach to come live with him during the season right now as an NBA player, after his high school coach's wife had died. He was like, hey, man, you're going through a lot right now. Come on and stay with me, and we'll just have a good time. We can just get you away from that environment for now. So shout out to him. You get some good guys left in the world. And this whole black and white thing, it don't even matter. It's about being humans, humanity. So shout out to your main man, Mitchell Robinson. All right. So that's another feel-good clip for you. And shout out to the coach, RIP to his wife. Now, shout out to my man right here from Lamb of God, Randy Blythe. This is how you handle situations where, you know, I see all the time where people, there's a mistake made and people aren't treating those around them right when a mistake happens. This is what you do. So he's trying to get on stage and a security guard stops him because she doesn't know that he's part of the group. So let's see how he handles this. This is how you talk to people in a respectful way when they make a simple mistake. They don't know what's going on. That's how you handle it. You don't act a fool, act crazy, or do something to get yourself put on World Star Hip Hop in the fight video. Check it out.
I don't have it because I'm degraded. I'm a singer. So thank you for doing your job. No, don't be sorry. You're doing your job. I like you.
So there you go. I wanted to show that because it's how you handle it. I see too many videos on the internet of people going to Chick-fil-A or some other kind of restaurant, and then something's not right. Then they want to start fighting and throwing stuff, all this and that. And the third is like, no. If there's a misunderstanding, a mistake, you can handle it very smoothly, very nicely. So shout out to my main man from Lamb of God, lead singer. Good video. Now we got some more here. We're going to get into a little bit of some politics stuff going on. Nikki Haley. Now, I don't know why Nikki Haley is so popular among the, well, you know what? I do kind of understand why she's very popular among these people, meaning the elites in the political space. I understand why she's very popular. It's because she's going to do what they want her to do. All right. She will do whatever they want her to do. And you're going to see her get into some really cringe stuff right here. Now, this is a town hall with Nikki Haley on CNN. Republicans, Ronnie McDaniel, what are we doing? Why is Nikki Haley doing a town hall by herself on CNN? For like, who's watching that? Who is that? What's the audience for Nikki Haley on CNN? Anybody want to tell me? Anybody want to alert me? Who's watching that? Look, if I'm not in an auto repair shop or airport, and you know what? I probably won't even see this in the auto repair shop. It'll probably be on something else, like HGTV, something like that. It probably won't be on CNN. CNN might be on the airport if you're lucky. Okay, Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, Concourse 11B, at best. Nowhere else. So, but who's the target audience for this? Now, let's play some of this cringe. Since I got to see it, you got to see it as well. All right, let's check it out.
I have said from the beginning, we wanted to be strong in Iowa, we wanted to be stronger in New Hampshire, and we want to get even stronger in my sweet state of South Carolina. So you named the past and all of the he's. I'm talking about the she and how she's going to go forward and finish this race. And so I think I have said.
So you're talking about the past and all the he's. Well, I'm talking about the she's, and she's going to win this race. Nikki Haley, cringe on top of cringe. Are you a feminist now? Like, what are we talking about exactly? What are we saying? And everyone knows, everyone who can hear my voice right now knows that you have no chance of becoming the president, probably ever, and most certainly not right now in 2024. You're getting curb stomped by President Trump by over 30 points. And matter of fact, hold on. There was one video I saw where someone asked her, was Trump scared to debate? Or why won't Trump debate? And she's like, oh, he's scared. It's like, scared? Really? Is that what you think? There's no way in the world that Trump is scared. Like, that's just not what's going on. So it's really strange. It's really weird. Let me see if I can put this up right here. Hold on. This is from today, actually, in New Hampshire. I don't know why she's going to continue to try and make this work, but maybe there's big money behind it. Maybe we got some other kind of interests that are beyond just really trying to become the president involved here. All right. And shout out to you, Loretta, on Facebook. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And let's go ahead and check it out right here.
We need a president for 8 years, even if you have a president for 4 years. The man was going on a rant about how I was keeping Capitol Police from going in on January 6th. He went on and on, mentioned my name multiple times about the fact that I stopped people from being secure on January 6th. I wasn't in D.C. on January 6th. I had nothing to do with the Capitol. It's things like that. He said multiple times that he ran against President Obama. He didn't run against President Obama. These things happen because guess what? When you're 80, That's what happens. You're just not as sharp as you used to be. This is not personal. Y'all know I voted for him twice. I was proud to serve in his administration. This is the fact that we have a country in disarray and a world on fire, and we need to know that we are not giving our kids options of two 80-year-olds going into a presidency. We need a...
All right, so there you have it. That's Nikki Haley. Okay, so are you guys going to go out there and vote? Nikki Haley, that's going to be your pick. Now, you know who's going to vote for her. You know what politician will vote for Nikki Haley. Your main man, Paul Ryan. Now, I did not know Paul Ryan was still even with us. I thought he went to the upper room. I've not seen Paul Ryan since the last election. I mean, what rock has he been under for the past 3.5 or so years? I don't really know. After J6, he was around for a while, and then he's pretty much been vanished. But he was out there in Davos at the World Economic Forum talking about Nikki Haley and Trump and whatnot. So let's check this out.
Look, a lot's going to happen between now and November. Nothing's linear in politics these days. There's a zigzag, so who knows is the point. Biden is so weak that even Donald Trump polls ahead of him. But look at Nikki Haley's polling. I mean, she beats him by like 12 points in head-to-head polls. So I would prefer a candidate who I think would be a good president and who I know is going to win. And by the way, give us more seats in Congress. That's Nikki Haley. Well, obviously, my preferences aren't bubbling through the Republican Party right now. But let's just wait and see what happens in New Hampshire and see if this inevitability narrative, which has credence now coming out of Iowa.
I mean, look, Iowa was a record margin of victory, What's going to change between then and New Hampshire? What monumental thing is going to just happen? Nothing. It's not going to be any different. The polling is not changed. Nikki Haley has no chance.
If it sticks past New Hampshire, and if Nikki Haley wins New Hampshire, then I think we got a race on our hands. So I want to wait and see what happens there.
So when she gets curb stomped again in New Hampshire, right alongside her friend DeSantis, what's next? What are you going to do then? If was the fifth, we all be drunk, but we sober as sober could be. Okay, we are teetotaling right now, so I don't know what your plan of action, your next course of action here is, Mr. Paul Ryan. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, speaking about Davos, you had quite a few people there, including JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon. And he was talking about, you got to be careful about talking negatively about Trump supporters. People that are conservative, it's half of the country. You can't just, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but maybe you should be a little bit more kind. Maybe you shouldn't be so, maybe you shouldn't be so nasty, so rude to people. Maybe you should just, be a little bit more kind. Really, really simple. Now, let's see if I can find the right clip here. Y'all give me a second.
Our first headliner of the morning.
Control the borders. Problems that might...
The relationship that the U.S. has.
Here we go. It's probably the one right here.
I think it's a mistake to assume that everything's hunky-dory. And, and when stock markets are up, it's kind of like this little drug we all feel. Like, it's just great, But remember, we've had so much fiscal and monetary stimulation. So I'm a little more on the cautious side, that we are facing a lot of things in 24 or 25. And we mentioned Ukraine, the terrorist activity in Israel, the Red Sea, quantitative tightening, which I still question if we understand exactly how that works. I don't think we do. How QE actually worked, what the effect of negative, zero rates was for all this time, and obviously the politics, and and then the Ukrainian war is affecting oil, gas, food, migration. So you have all these very powerful forces that are going to be affecting us in 24 and 25. So if I was the government, I would be preparing for what I'm going to do about that, assuming things aren't good. And I just also want to point out, I wish the Democrats would think a little more carefully when they talk about MAGA, and if you travel this country, and the country's unbelievable. We took our bus trip.
Let's pause right here. Now, this is Jamie Dimon, who is by no means a conservative at all. You see him as an American citizen, I would presume, the CEO of JPMorgan, the bank, wearing a Ukraine pin. Earlier in this talk, he was saying how important it is to really defend Ukraine and fight off Vladimir Putin. In the past, he's spoken negatively about Trump, said he's not that smart. I could beat him, all this, that, and the third. So this guy is not a Republican conservative at all. But what he's saying here makes sense. This is what you would say if you are a liberal that has a little bit of a brain at least.
This year, and Leslie Picker was on Spokane and Boise and Bozeman. People are growing. They're hungry to grow. They're innovating. It's everywhere. It's not just Silicon Valley. So we've got this great hand. But when people say MAGA, they're actually looking at people voting for Trump, and they think they're voting, and they're basically scapegoating them, that you are like him. But I don't think they're voting for Trump because of his family values. And if you look, just take a step back, be honest. He was kind of right.
Now, about the whole family values thing, listen, I'm not really worried about any of that. I'm not worried about the whole, remember the Access Hollywood tape? I'm not really worried about that. I mean, did the man commit a crime? Did he get locked up? I mean, what are we talking about exactly? Oh, he said something that might be offensive to some people, or it might be a little bit rude or crass. Okay, that's fine, but check it out. We got real bills going on. We got real things going on. If you got a president, again, the whole mean tweets thing, if I get some mean tweets, but I get world peace, that's a fair trade to me. Now, if I don't have any mean tweets, but I got a war in Israel, I got a war in Taiwan, I got a war in Ukraine, maybe that's not really a fair exchange. I would take some mean tweets in exchange for those wars not happening, in exchange for the U.S. not spending $451 billion on the border crisis. That's right, $451 billion on the border. And I'm going to show that stat in a minute. Let's keep on going.
Step back, be honest. He was kind of right about NATO, kind of right about immigration. Mm-hmm. He grew the economy quite well.
China virus.
Tax reform worked. Yeah. He was right about some of China. I don't like what he did.
No, I said China virus.
Yeah, I understand. He may have been right. And I don't like how he said things about Mexico. I don't like, but he wasn't wrong about some of these critical issues. And that's why they're voting for him. And I think people should be a little more respectful of our fellow citizens. And when you guys have people up here, you should always ask the why. Not like it's a binary thing. You're supporting Trump, you're not supporting Trump. Why are you supporting Trump?
It's hard to hate 75 million of your fellow Americans. And
I agree.
It's done crazy.
And, the Democrats have done a pretty good job with the deplorables, hugging onto their Bibles and their beer and their guns. I mean, really? Like, could we just stop that stuff and actually grow up and treat other people with respect and listen to them a little bit? And I do think the economy will affect. And I think this negative talk about MAGA is going to hurt Biden's election campaign.
I just want to ask you back to the $34 trillion that we got, because it seemed
now let's pause right there. What he said was right on point. So shout out Jamie Dimon again. Not a conservative at all, a liberal, stone cold stomp down liberal. But what he said is correct. Trump was right about these things. And now that we are seeing Biden in office, we see what the other side of being right is all about. Okay. Now, here is the New York Post article from November 13th, 2023, just about 2 months ago. And it says right here, migrant crisis has U.S. taxpayers on the hook for up to $451 billion. That's according to the House GOP report. $451 billion with a B. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy. And somehow we could pay for that, no problem. But a border wall, $15 billion? Oh, we don't know where you're going to get the money. We can't spend it. All kind of excuses made for that. But then when it comes to the illegal immigration, when it comes to the migrants, whatever they want to call themselves, we could spend $500 billion on that, and it's not really a big deal. But $17 billion for the wall, to not spend that much money, I'm not going to say that the migrants won't come at all if you got a wall up, but it's going to be dramatically reduced. It won't just be open the way it is, and we're going to spend a lot less money. Logic, aside from what you feel about the migrants or whatever, logic says if you could spend $17 billion and spend, let's say, even $100 billion rather than the almost $500 billion on the migrants, that it makes sense to do that. $117 billion versus $500 billion. Obviously, one's better than the other. If I was in charge of a company and they said, hey, we have two choices as far as how we can spend money to deal with an issue. We can spend $117 or $500. I'm going with $117. That's it. It's simple. People might not like the wall, but we don't like the illegal immigration either. So people are not going to be 100% happy either way you go. But you got to do what's best for you and what's best for the whole nation. Okay. Now, here's something that I saw a while ago, like I think last week. This is from January 17th. So it's kind of recent, actually, probably about 3 days ago. And you heard what Jamie Dimon said, talking about let's be careful about speaking about MAGA. And the left are so concerned with so-called MAGA and Trump supporters or whatever, they kind of are not paying actually dangerous people attention that should be looked at. You see this right here? The FBI arrested an Oregon trans neo-Nazi Latina who allegedly made plans to carry out a mass shooting. Quote, I've had it up to here with being bullied by transphobic a-holes. I am left with no alternatives. I'll probably have to go out in the blaze of glory. Elizabeth Ballesteros West allegedly wrote. The trans person also allegedly made threats against Jays and black people in support of Nazism. So this person right here obviously got some issues, got some screws loose, and got arrested by the federales. So we're talking about MAGA. Oh, they're so dangerous. Get their Bibles and their guns. Well, is that person, is that a MAGA right there? And we're starting to see a lot more of these people that are quote unquote trans being involved with or plotting mass shootings. We've seen it quite a bit. We saw it out there in Nashville at the Covenant School. There was one recently. I forget where it was. You guys know. It might have been on the left coast somewhere, Washington State, Oregon, something like that. I'm not really sure where it was. You have another one. So we got a mental health issue going on. We got a drug issue going on. But they, on the left, want to be occupied with quote unquote MAGA. I think there are bigger fish to fry. I think there are bigger issues in our society other than the so-called MAGAs. But I'll keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, speaking about issues in school and whatnot, we got some stuff from the Antichrist called TikTok. And the reason why I show a lot of this is because your kids are being exposed to it if you don't know. So let's watch this. This is about a school teacher talking about using certain pronouns or whatnot in the classroom for her first grade class. Now, I remember when I was in first grade, I was like the boy from the beginning of this live stream talking about the joys of reading. I wanted to go to the book fair. I wanted to get the pencils with the nice erasers. I wanted to get school supplies. I was not concerned with pronouns. I'm concerned with pronouns as far as how to read them correctly, how to use them correctly as far as the English language. I was not worried about, okay, you as a singular person have they, them pronouns. All right. Like we are a legion in the Bible, like a demon. But anyway, let's check this out.
Hi, videos like that make me really sad. And as a first grade teacher, I completely disagree.
Hold on, let's maximize it. Now, the caption here says inclusivity at a K through 2 level sounds like teaching children to be respectful of names, identities, understanding that some families have 2 moms or 2 dads, just like some have a mom and a dad or a single parent or even a grandparent.
I think that teaching our children to have empathy and respect for others is the #1 most important thing we can teach them. So let me show you one of my favorite books I use to teach inclusivity and empathy in my classroom. It's called Peanut Goes for the Gold, and Jonathan Van Ness is the author. They are one of my favorite human beings on the earth. You might know them from Queer Eye. But this story is about a non-binary gerbil who wants to be a rhythmic gymnast, and they do all the things: cartwheels, ribbon twirling, hula hooping.
A non-binary gerbil. I mean, come on, like the stuff is all right. I'm kind of flummoxed here. Let's let her continue.
To meet their goal. And when they get to the gymnastics meet, they forgot to tie their shoes and they trip and fall, but they ended up turning it into a magnificent move that wins them first place. But it's really just about how everybody has a different way of doing things, and that's okay. And we all just need to be true to our true selves. And it refers to Peanut as they or their in the story because they're non-binary. And when it comes down to it, if teaching children to be respectful of others' identities and calling them what they prefer to be called is the worst thing I do as an educator, then I'd say I'm doing pretty darn good.
But I thought they weren't grooming kids. I thought that wasn't really happening. I thought they weren't grooming. This is a first grade teacher. First grade. You're talking about little kids that are what, 6 years old? I was 5 years old going into my first grade class. I turned 6 in September. 5 years old, going like little kids learning this stuff. So that's what's happening right there. And we have more of that kind of stuff. That's all over TikTok. It's everywhere. That is everywhere. Now, I think I played the Strickland video, the UFC fighter. You guys saw that particular clip. Now, shout out to Strickland. I believe he's a Canadian. And he had made some comments about the LGBT, talking about if he had an LGBT son, he wouldn't really be pleased because, okay, where's the grandkids and whatnot? And as a dad, would that really be a great moment? I don't really know. You love your kids, but, I mean, you got some issues. It's going to be a thing. People said that he was a homophobe and a transphobe and all kind of stuff, and he really just laid the smackdown on some reporters asking him about this. So that was a good moment, but somebody responded to him. Let's see what her take on it is. And she put some words over his eyes, talking about a professional athlete just said some of the most disgusting anti-G4Y, gay, I suppose. Now, she'll do a little bit of cursing here, so don't blame me. Blame the ginger.
Athlete just said some of the most disgusting anti-gay, anti-trans bullshit I have ever heard. And so far, he has faced
And pardon me, he's from California. Pardon me. He had on an American. He had on a maple leaf shirt, so I thought he was Canadian. So he's Californian. So sorry about that. Shout out to my man, an American.
A professional athlete just said some of the most disgusting anti-gay, anti-trans bullshit I have ever heard. And so far, he has faced 0 consequences. Like, his big money-making event is still set to take place, still at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, and it's still in 2 days. So, TikTok, it might be time to do your thing. Let me tell you why. This human thumb, Sean Strickland, yeah, the guy in the Women Belong in the Kitchen t-shirt.
Now that the shirt says, a woman in every kitchen and a gun in every hand. Now, I think that is an amazing idea. That is a great shirt to have. That is great.
So original. He is an MMA fighter. And yesterday, MMA journalist Alexander Lee asked him about disgusting comments he had made in the past about the LGBTQ community. Specifically, that time that Strickland said if he had a gay son, it would mean he failed as a man. This seems like a guy who's super secure in his masculinity. Anyways, before Lee could even finish his question, Strickland launched into a gnarly tirade. Here's a taste.
Are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're part of the fucking problem.
Oh, but he didn't stop there. He also went on to attack the trans community.
10 years ago, to be trans was a mental fucking illness.
Is that wrong to say that being trans at one point was a mental illness? Is that wrong? Is it actually incorrect? That's the question. At one point, yes. Matter of fact, I think even being LGBT at all was considered a mental illness. There are quite a few things people do that should be considered a mental illness. If you go by they, them, doesn't that mean you think you're more than one person? I'm just saying, if you as a singular person in the English language say they, them, you're referring to more than one person. They went to the store. They went to the camp. They went to school. That means multiple, plural. If you say they, them to refer to one person, do you have voices in your head? What's really going on? But let's keep on going.
And now all of a sudden, people like you have fucking weaseled your way in the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. You're right. Fucking chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are 2 genders.
His comments were then.
So before she gets into her response, he's saying, look, the world says that, no, there are 2 genders. Most normal, regular people think there's 2 genders. All this extra weird stuff is only bought into by a very small piece of the world's population. Very small. Unfortunately, there's so much money behind them They have a really big voice, and they cannot reproduce by regular traditional means. So they got to indoctrinate, like the first grade teacher. They got to indoctrinate kids from a young age to convince them that they believe in all this LGBTQ element of peace stuff. I have a chart that I showed before. I'll show it one more time if I can find it in a minute.
Two genders.
His comments were then praised on far-right messaging boards, where they said things like, absolutely savage, and I love this man, because there's nothing ballsier than attacking vulnerable, marginalized communities. Now,
I mean, are we going to treat them as the same? Are they going to be equal, or are they vulnerable and marginalized and they can't defend themselves, all this, that, and the third? I mean, which one is it? I mean, you can't have both ways. You can't say that you are the same and treat me as the same, but then, when I'm facing criticism, I'm poor and marginalized, and I'm a black person, and I'm
now that is brave. Beyond a handful of articles and some mixed commentary online, this dude has emerged from this totally unscathed. And my question about that is, what message are we sending to the trans community? What message does it send to the gay community? What message does it send to the far-right transphobes who are cheering this on and watching Scotiabank Arena welcome this human pimple with open arms? Is Toronto actually okay with this? My money's on no. So if you agree, I'd recommend you get loud about it. Because, call me crazy, I'm not cool with standing by while this chicken shit little bitch punches down. What do you think?
So there you go. I mean, I thought that what he said was right on point, but some people just didn't really believe that what he said was on point. I really thought that he had a lot of good points. I believe with the whole thing that he said. I don't disagree with anything. I think that it was all on point. All on point. Now, what I'm trying to find now, it was a chart. It was a chart that said, I found perfect timing. Perfect timing. I got it right here. Now, speaking about indoctrinating and whatnot, here's a chart that says how many people identified as LGBT over the years. Now, look at this. I'm going to just read it out to you guys right quick. Okay, this is from Gallup. That's a source. 7.2% of U.S. adults identify as LGBT. Okay, and you can see from year to year how it's increased. Okay, so 2014, the highest group was about 6%, and that was millennials. And then in 17, that group jumped to about 8%. Now, from 14 to 17 to 20 to 22, Gen X, boomers, and traditionalists, before boomers, their margin share pretty much stayed the same. It didn't change. It's the same. Millennials, however, went from about 6% identifying as LGBT in 2014 to 11% in 2022. And we could see how Gen Z is 19.7%. So how do you go from 1.7% of traditionalism for 1946, the highest 3.3 of Gen X, to 11.2 in millennial, and then almost double that at 19.7 with Gen Z? Obviously, we have them being indoctrinated. That's what's going on. It's not, they're just coming out and feeling comfortable. That's not the reality. They're being indoctrinated. That's what's going on. That's why you got these teachers teaching little kids in the first grade about this kind of stuff. All right. So that's what's going on. Now, here is a video. I'm not sure when this was recorded, but it says Milford Regional Hospital just announced new policies that can deny you care if you use unwelcome words such as microaggressions related to race and gender. They will probably kick you out for misgendering or saying men can't get pregnant and there are only two genders. See, and this is how normal people get wrapped up in this nonsense. Regular people, it's like, look, I'm not involved with whatever you got going on. Leave me out of it. My name's Bennett and I ain't in it. But you got to be in it. Watch this.
Hello, I'm Dr. Peter Smolowitz, Chief Medical Officer at Milford Regional Medical Center. Milford Regional Medical Center is committed to providing exceptional healthcare services to our community with dignity, compassion, and respect. Everyone should expect a safe, caring, and inclusive environment.
Reading a hostage note. What's going on, Mr. What's your name? Smolowitz? Yeah, Smolowitz.
Everyone should expect a safe, caring, and inclusive environment in all our spaces. Our patient and visitor code of conduct helps us meet this goal. Words or actions that are disrespectful, racist, discriminatory, hostile, or harassing are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Examples of these include offensive comments about others' race, ethnicity, accent, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or other personal traits.
Accent? Really? Is that all of a sudden? I mean, you can't say anything. Can I, if I'm a comedian and I just happen to be in the lobby and I'm cracking jokes and then I'm talking about somebody's accent, right? And now I'm not gonna have my doctor's appointment. Like, what's going on? Like, that's crazy.
Refusal to see a clinician or other staff member based on these personal traits. Aggressive or intimidating behavior, physical or verbal.
I mean, some of these are okay. I mean, you're gonna beat somebody up, that's different. But some of this right here, I'm not really a fan of. Sexual, vulgar words or actions disrupting others' patients' care. Okay, yeah, some of these okay. But accent, ethnicity, comments, I mean, come on. Come on, Mr. Smolowitz, like, what are we doing? But that's how these kind of things affect your regular everyday life. All right, now let's keep on rocking here. I want to get to this one, the pay gap video. Now, you guys told me it was an old video. I don't know when it was recorded, but I had to comment on this one because this is really good. Now, this is in Australia. If you guys know when this video came out, y'all let me know in the comments. But in Australia, there was a Senate hearing, if I'm not mistaken, about the gender pay gap and if it exists. Now, there may be a gender pay gap, but it's not because of any kind of discrimination. So some will say that men make more than women. And since they do, that means that men are given unfair advantages and women are being discriminated against. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe I work more than you. Okay, now I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's go ahead and just play it, and then I'm going to react a little bit.
So do you take into account the fact that on average a male full-time employee works longer hours than a female full-time employee?
Not directly, no.
You don't?
But we annualise the part-time hours and those that have worked full-time but for part of the year.
So the question was pretty simple. Do you take into account men who work more hours than women when you're talking about the gender pay gap? So let's say, for example, I make $15 an hour and my coworker makes the same thing. We're right next to each other. We're in cubicles. I'm in cubicle B. She's in cubicle C. I make $15 an hour. She gets the same thing. But somehow at the end of the year, I make, let's say, 10% more than she does. I was able to bring home 10% more money. Now, she would say that's evidence of a gender pay gap. But maybe I worked more hours than she did. Maybe I took no days off. I came in on holidays. I did double time. I covered shifts. And as a matter of fact, when Cubicle C called out to go get her hair done, to go on vacation for just a little bit of time on certain times of the month or whatever, when she called off, I covered for her. So I got paid time and a half or whatever it is to cover her shift. So maybe that's why men get paid more than women as far as the take-home pay. They try to equate the take-home pay to being a thing where men just get hired they get hired at a higher rate. If men and women did the same job at the same rate, put it to you this way. If a man did a job and a woman did a job, same job, and the woman just took less money per hour to produce the same results, why would I pay the man more? Why would I hire any men? If I want 15 as a man and she wants 10 as the woman, I would hire all women. But that's not what happens, is it?
So that way, because at the moment, what I can tell you is women work part-time at 3 times the rate of men. So by annualising it, we are looking at a more...
She just said it right there. Women work part-time at 3 times the rate of men. She said it right there. So you're saying from your own mouth, you said that women work fewer hours than men. Women take 3 times as many part-time jobs as men. Men work full-time more than women. Therefore, men take home more money. It's simple. And when we do work the same job for the same hours, we work more hours within those confines, within that context. And if you're working in a part-time job, you can't really annualize that and compare it to a full-time job because full-time jobs tend to pay more than part-time.
Mm-hmm.
Realistic.
So you base it on annual salary.
Yeah.
What about if you did it on an hourly rate? What would be the gender hourly pay gap?
Well, we don't have that data, Senator.
You don't have that data?
No, because we ask for annualised salaries because...
My man right here, hold on. Just look. Wait a minute. It's like, okay, where's the data at, man? Come on. Like, this man was destroying her with the coolest, calmest expression I've ever seen in my life. So shout out to my man right here.
Well, we don't have that data, Senator.
You don't have that data?
No, because we ask for annualised salaries because from our employers when they report their data in.
Okay, so if a woman was working fewer hours but earning the same rate per hour as a man doing the same job, would that show up as a gender pay gap?
The pauses, she's like, has no answers. Has no answers.
No.
But, well, then in that case, you are looking at hourly rates.
Janine Bridov, Research and Analytics Executive Manager. So,
how to have somebody come in there? How to get her colleague come in there and tag in? Boom! You got a whole gaggle of young ladies or older ladies or whatever to answer these simple questions from this one man, and they're having a hard time doing it. It's crazy.
We do not.
As I was saying in my video, this is what Javier Milei was talking about in Argentina. This little council right here, this gender pay council, afuera. Throw them out the window. This whole consortium right here could go away and nobody would make it. They could totally go away today and it wouldn't make a difference at all. At all. And that's part of why government a lot of times becomes bloated and just unnecessary. All these little agencies and ministries and groups and whatnot that aren't needed. Let's get down to the core of what a country needs to operate. These women right here have no real purpose. This is a fake job.
Collect the real hours that an employee might have worked. So what we do collect is the hours that are specified in a contract, and that is provided by organizations to us. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, if you do you annualize it on the assumption that men and women are working the same number of hours, or is it actual earnings?
It's actual earnings, and we are unable to. We don't have the data to distinguish or to then adjust for hours.
What are we saying, Stuttering Stanley? Like, what's going on? Like, what is really, like, what are you actually trying to say? You're not making any sense. Like, if you guys are getting paid to do all this stuff, you are really just wasting a bunch of money. Okay. Matter of fact, hold on. I gotta show how she sounds. All right.
Have you ever had a dream that you want
Killed it. There you go. That's pretty much how she was sounding. Let me go right back to her right quick.
Because we cannot collect the real hours that employees are working.
So it's not possible to tell whether any or some of the gender pay gap is just simply attributable to a different number of hours worked. Is that right?
It depends on whether we're looking at hours that are in contract or whether we're looking at hours that employees worked as. Making
no sense. Basically, they're trying to make the case about gender pay gap being a thing, and it's a real thing. and they're saying that women make less money than men, and that's somehow calls for the law to step in, for the government to step in and make that be fixed. But they don't have the data that would really point to this being some kind of discrimination. All they have is just the final numbers. So in 2023, men might have made 15% more than women, and then they say that is enough to prove there's a gender pay gap, and we got to have the law step in to make it not be so. But you're not looking at all the factors that would make those numbers be true. If men tend to work more full-time jobs, and she even said it, the woman before her even said it, that men work more full-time jobs. Women are 3 times more likely in Australia to work part-time jobs. So we're going to do more work. We're going to be more ambitious. We're going to be the worker bees in society, typically as men. Now, I know that's not always the case, but for the most part, that's what it is. And that's why, on average, men make more than women. It's very simple. All right. And it's a weird thing because when you have the reverse true, that's also a problem, because if a woman makes more than a man, then somehow the man's not really on the right. I don't want to go down that particular path, but you understand what I'm saying. If the man makes more than her, that's the gender pay gap, and that's bad. If the man makes less than her, then he's not really a real man. He can't provide, and all this, that, and the third. This Steve Harvey book reading 40-year-old. I'm getting too deep, so I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, I got a lot of videos, so I don't even know where I'm going to go next. Hold on. Let's talk about some of this inflation that's happening right now all over the good old US of A. The inflation is kind of crazy.
Hi, I'm Canadian.
Hold on. Before we get to the inflation, let's talk about Canada right quick. Shout out to all the Canadians out there. Shout out to Toronto, Edmonton, Alberta, Vancouver, BC. Shout out to you guys. Let's watch this right quick. Then we're going to get to the inflation kerfuffle.
Hi, I'm Canadian, where we're trying to make it almost impossible to get any kind of vitamins or supplementation, but it's totally legal to have up to 2.5 grams of heroin or methamphetamine. Hey, I'm Canadian, where if you disagree with our political views, we'll call you a white supremacist, freeze your bank accounts, and beat you with horses in the street. Hey, I'm Canadian, and we don't like opposing views here, so you actually can't even watch independent news media on social media platforms, and we're about to take down podcasts and even Netflix shows that the government doesn't like. Yes!
Well, I'll play more, but they got music in the background. Please, influencers, you know what? That was really good about Canada. Shout out to Canada. Hopefully you guys are able to get that tightened up. The heroin, like, you can't get supplements and vitamins, but you can get all your illicit drugs. I think there's a message there. Like, hey, you know what? Healthcare is a tad bit expensive. We don't want you to try home remedies. We'd rather you go ahead and delete yourself. That's cheaper. And the heroin from China is dirt cheap. You get it for next to nothing. The fentanyl is easily available, and there's no government involved. Go ahead and use that. Delete yourself, and that'll be that. We'll put you in the crematorium and go about our business. So, yeah, shout out to Canada, though. I mean, hopefully you guys are able to make it through all that. But a tip to the influencers, please, if you make videos, if you make original content, no cursing, because you can't really get played on television if you're cursing. Or if you are cursing, all your words are bleeped out. And also the music in the background, don't have it because I can't play it. All right, so let's keep on rocking here. Yeah, shout out to Canada. And here we go with the inflation. All right, this video is things I had to give up in this economy.
Things I had to give up because I can no longer afford them. Getting my hair dyed, literally at all. Highlights, forget about it.
Oh.
Getting my nails done, if you can't tell. Buying things for my friends. I used to be the kind of friend that would, like, I don't know, just buy small things. Like, oh, I'll buy that for you, you know? Forget that. I can't even do that for myself now. I used to be at Starbucks every.
Why are you doing this, all this jazz right here? Like, I'm about to get seasick. Please hold your camera still. Like, get a tripod, hold it right there. I don't want to see no movement, no swaying, no rocking under the boat, no zoom action. Just stay 100% still. Are you on drugs? Did you get some of the drugs from Canada? Like, what's really going on? But I digress.
every day or like every other day type of person. Now I go like once every 3 weeks and it's a treat. Going to Target for fun, like as an activity. Like I used to just be like, let's go to Target and like buy something cute, like buy a little pack of earrings. Nope. I do not go in there unless I have a mission and I make a list. I'm in and out. Girl dates, like where you would go shopping and then like go to Starbucks and like get something to eat. Like now, like me and my friends are like going out and we're like, so like, you want to go to McDonald's? Chick-fil-A? Like you have to be rich to go to Chick-fil-A now. I don't even like Chick-fil-A. Like their salads, their wraps, their ice cream, and their fries. And I can't even do that now because the salads are like $10. Driving around for fun. Like I don't know if anybody, like that was a hobby for anyone. It was for me. Especially in the fall. Like I drive around the mountains like just for fun. Can't do that anymore. Gas is too expensive. Name brand clothing has always been like a luxury to me. But like now, I literally can't tell you the last time I bought like something Nike brand new. And I can't tell you. I thrift everything. I can't afford it. And then nice makeup. I used to be the kind of person that would like go to Sephora like twice a month or Ulta and like buy like a nice high quality makeup. I literally cannot tell you the last time I bought like quality makeup. Like not that drugstore isn't quality. I actually prefer drugstore now because I'm used to it. But you know, sometimes you want to splurge on an eyeshadow palette. I have not done that since probably 2016. Shopping at TJ Maxx or Home Goods in general. Like it is fun shopping. Like you can't tell me you're going in specifically to find something at TJ Maxx and you ever actually find it. Like it's all just fun shopping, which is great. I can't do that.
Wow, not even TJ Maxx. Is that true? So what do you guys think? Was she on point, off point? Do you think that what she said was, you know, that's pretty much what's happening right now in the good old USA? Things are so expensive. You can't just go riding around. You can't just go burning up gas. You can't go to TJ Maxx, Home Goods. Can't go to Chick-fil-A. You can't go to Target and just shop. Sephora, all these places, it ain't really the same way anymore. And you know what? You guys are asking a great question in the chat. Who did she vote for? I'd like to know. If she voted for Biden, which I don't know, I have no idea who the person is. If she voted Biden, then I can't really feel too bad for her because at a certain point, this is what you asked for. You wanted it, now you got it. If you want it, you got it. All right. Now let's look at some of these houses in Oregon. This is overpriced row houses in Oregon. Is a housing bubble starting to pop, or are prices about to take off even higher than when the Fed cut rates in 2024? What do you guys think? Is the housing bubble going to pop? Are we going to see even higher home prices? Like what's going on? I just saw an article that said new home purchases or new home starts. It might have been new home purchases were like at a 30-year low in 2023 because of the very high prices. Now let's see how much these row houses cost in Oregon. He might be over there in Bend. I've seen him before. Shout out to him. I don't know his name. If you guys know his name, let me know in the comments.
I'm back at those overpriced condos that the realtor was threatening.
So wait a minute. $559,000 row houses again. $559,000 for a row house. Now, what's that? A townhouse, basically? Let's see if he shows the actual home.
To sue me for my videos about. It looks like maybe the 2 units in the middle have sold. The 2 on the end still haven't. This one still has it right here.
So okay. 559, 3 bed, 3 bath, 1,000, basically 700 square feet. So 1,700 square feet for 559. Not quite 600,000. 559 for 1,700 square feet in Oregon. Bend, Oregon, 3 bed, 3 bath.
It's hard to believe it's been almost a year since my first video about these places. You'd think for being on the market for over a year, they'd lower their prices more. But no, they'd rather keep the prices high and let them sit empty. What's more interesting though, is all these other units still aren't finished. What's interesting is that after my last video where I was noting what all the moisture for a year was doing to this OSB plywood, now looks like they put a moisture barrier around it and they finally put a roof on it. But as you can see, they're still very far from being finished. Here in the back, you can see that they don't have garages yet, but they do have windows back here. It's monster icicles up there. Oh, this is cool. So there's no gutters on these and the water's been dripping down and created this solid sheet of ice right here.
Oh man, no gutters. No gutters when you got siding on the house. So the house is pretty much done, but no gutters. That's going to damage. Well, there's probably not any, there's not going to be a basement. So the slab might get damaged. Cause that's the main thing with gutters. If you're having the water just come all the way, just come straight down, it's going to damage your actual foundation. And if you got a slab, it might crack the slab more than it is already. And if you got a basement, it'll flood the basement. And if you got snow, I don't even know how the frozen water or the cold water would affect your foundation, or at least the base of your home on the slab. Anybody that is building houses, into houses, y'all let me know how that can affect your property, a home with no gutters or clogged gutters.
Probably climb that with an ice axe. Some of the building materials are still left out. This one, whatever these are right here, is just completely covered in snow.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens to these places over the next year. I really figured they'd be sold by now. Without lowering prices considerably, I can't imagine who'd be buying one of these narrow row houses with no yard on a busy street for $550,000.
Crazy. No yard, built kind of slip shy, all this and that and the third. Okay, somebody said the pipe probably burst. That's something else, because do we have any insulation? Do we have proper insulation? Do we have doors? Okay, they tell you once you get below 18 degrees, you should drip your pipes. Are they going to do that in those unfinished homes? Do we have water running at all? Like, what's going on? Moisture buildup, soil erosion. It'll destroy the foundation if you don't have any gutters in your home. Absolutely. All right. Yeah. I don't clean my gutters myself. I'm not trying to get up on the ladder and break my head open trying to do something like that. I'll call a guy, be like, hey man, I'll give you $200, come through. Matter of fact, my guy costs $275. I'm like, yo, okay, come clean the gutter. And he'll just come to the house. And after he's done, he'll take pictures. I send him the money, Venmo, whatever. Boom, you finish. Out the way. And nobody got time to have any kind of foundation problems or nothing like that in my home. That's not what I'm trying to do. So yeah, if you get up on a ladder, God bless you. You're a better man than I am. I tell you what, I'm not going to do it. Now, speaking about these constructions, these homes with the plywood and all of that, with no moisture barrier, they're kind of just up. A lot of kind of slipshod construction work. Now, what you're going to see in a lot of these construction sites are guys that come from Central America. And shout out to all the Migos. You guys are fantastic. Love y'all. Shout out to the Mexicans, the Guatemalans, the Honduran, Nicaragua, El Salvador. Shout out to all you guys. However, when you go to a construction site, what you're going to see the Migos out there working. Now, some are going to say, well, the Migos are out there because Americans don't want to do the jobs that Americans don't want to do those jobs that the Migos do. That's why the border's open, because they're coming over here. Americans don't want to do all this, that, and the third. Now, this video, I did a video about this rapper, Plies. You guys probably don't know who he is unless you are deep into rap music. If you know obscure rappers from the early 2000s, this guy has a big social media following, and he was defending the migrants. Now, you're not going to understand what he's talking about. Plies is Gilbert Gottfried of rap. You guys know Gilbert Gottfried. I'm going to show you guys Gilbert Gottfried right quick so you kind of understand what I'm talking about for the young people who may not quite know who I'm talking about. You don't know who Plies is or Gilbert Gottfried. So let me just bridge the generational gap by showing you Gilbert Gottfried right quick. Ladies! Okay. Now, you hear his voice. You hear his voice. That's not really his real voice. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can hear the sound of my voice.
Yes, I can hear the sound of your voice. And RIP to Gilbert Gottfried. He passed away in 2022. RIP Gilbert Gottfried. But that voice is a character that he will always be in all the time. But that's not his real voice. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because this character right here, Plies, that's not his real voice either. He has a regular speaking voice like, hello, how are you? You know, my name is William. Okay, we're going to go do. That's his normal voice. But here, you're going to hear this fake Florida hood rat voice, and he's going to defend the migrants.
I had a conversation with a motherfucker about immigrants. Motherfucker said, oh, they just come over here and they take our job. Check y'all jobs. What motherfucking job? The job that nobody don't want. The job that everybody think they too motherfucking good for anyway.
Now, I'm not going to play the entire video, but if you did not understand that, basically, he said he was speaking to somebody about the immigrants, the migrants, the migrant crisis going through the border illegally, asylum seekers or whatever. And he's saying the person was saying they're taking jobs. And he's like, well, what jobs are you talking about? The jobs that you guys want to do and they want to do? I'm going to play a little bit more.
You motherfucking people walk 17 motherfucking days. Sleep in motherfucking aluminum foil. For 8-9 motherfucking months. In the rain, sun, every motherfucking thing. Swim across the motherfucking Atlantic Ocean. Just to motherfucking come over here to provide a motherfucking service. And y'all don't want a motherfucking over here? You're supposed to be greeting the motherfuckers at the border with motherfucking old moms, if you ask me. You need to be throwing them a motherfucking immigrant day. Y'all gave motherfucking Christopher Columbus a motherfucking day. And he's the biggest motherfucking thug in American motherfucking history.
I wish people would just stop cussing so much. This is why I always say on my show, please no cussing, because it makes it hard to talk about this kind of stuff when you say MF literally every second. It's MF, 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 MF. Let's build your vocabulary. Try reading the book to get a more voluminous vocabulary so you don't have to rely on MF every second. He's using that word as punctuation or some kind of exaggeration on a phrase.
And you want me to motherfucking believe that they coming over here taking your motherfucking job. The reason y'all scared of the motherfuckers coming over here is the fact that they gonna come over here and show people what hard work really motherfucking is.
So that's enough. But basically he's saying, hey, you shouldn't be worried about the migrants coming over. We should go down to the border and give them a day. Welcome home. We'll open arms, welcome them and say, hey, come on, migrants, come on in. And he's saying people are scared of the migrants because they're going to show us what hard work really looks like. That's what they said. That's what he said. Now, here's the problem. What happens is, and also people were commenting on this and agreeing with him, saying, yeah, that's the reason why Americans are lazy. They don't want to do these jobs, that the immigrants do all this, that, and the third. The problem is not necessarily that Americans don't want to do these jobs. It's that Americans don't want to do these jobs for the pay that the migrants take. For example, there are plenty of American citizens who work construction, who frame houses, who roof, who do all kind of work like that. But here's a question. Do you, as an American, want to frame houses in 20-degree weather for $10 an hour? Because that's what they get paid. They'll be out there all day eating mangoes, playing their music. You know what I'm talking about, the horns, all that all day long for $10 an hour. Why would any American want to do that? Why? McDonald's paying $15. Chick-fil-A, same thing. They get paid that because that makes your actual home price cheaper. That makes the developer, the builder, more money. And it's a way to just, look, they will go do that work with no documentation. Remember when DeSantis tried to pass a rule in Florida that says that all the employers got to check their workers' papers? And the next day, nobody showed up to work sites? It's because all these work sites, all these contractors use these illegal aliens, or they're kind of halfway here legally, because they'll work for next to nothing. That's why. Not because we're lazy. It's because we don't want to get paid next to no money to do hard work. We'll do the work, just not for that kind of wage. Because what they do is sending money back to their country of origin, sending their money back to Central America, Africa, or whatever, where the dollar is worth more. We don't have a place we can just go and spend. We don't have another home country. Our home country is here. That's the problem. It's simple. It's very simple. All right. Now, Peter Virgin says, I was a security guard. I was at a migrant place. My fellow Americans made me lose my job. What is a migrant place? What does that mean? A migrant place? What's that? Like, how'd you lose your job? But anyway, that's the issue. The migrants are doing jobs for next to no money. Why would you build a house frame, all that kind of stuff for $10 an hour, where you can work at McDonald's for the same money or more. It makes no sense. But if you're an American, you got things like a social security number, you got a permanent address, things like you have documentation. They don't. That's the issue. Like I said before, they are the new slaves. So if you're going to celebrate slave labor, basically, then go ahead. I mean, but I thought that we were beyond that. I thought that as citizens, we thought that slavery was abhorrent and we got past it. Not just because how slaves are treated, but because of the nature of using people for next to no money to build up wealth. And you know what? What happens with these people when they come over? They'll be used for cheap labor, dirt cheap, and as bodies in the front line of the military. And the ultimate goal is to create no middle class. All the jobs that might be middle class pay will now be low class pay, or some are going to be lower class pay. They even had migrants doing IT work. I lie to you not. Where somebody might get paid in IT $75,000, $80,000, they were paying a guy on the weird kind of visa like $46,000. So the goal is to erode the middle class and to create either the upper class or the lower class. The servants, the serfs, and then those who make all the money. This is a common theme seen in movies and video games and whatnot, where it'll be a city in the sky where all the wealthy live, and then under the pillars that support the city in the sky are where all the laborers and whatnot live. That's how it was during slavery. That was the whole point. That was you had people that owned mansions and then they had the help living in the basement or living outside. They want that again in 2024. Go to California right now. Go to San Fran, go to LA. When I was in LA, I saw it with my own two eyes. You go up in the hills, it's beautiful. On the ground floor, ghetto with a capital G. They leave the serfs living in squalor while the upper crust live like kings. That's why Paris is like the way it is, and it's always been like that. When the ruling class moved from Paris to Versailles, they left the Parisians to rot in Paris. And it's like that right now all over Europe and all over America, and it's being led by the migrants coming in because they're going to be that underclass. And it won't, look, either you got the money or you don't, and if you don't, then oh well. And then they want you unarmed because when you start to see what's happening and you want to fight back, you can't. And the ones who have all the power, they'll have private security, their own police. Remember Alyssa Milano talking about she supports defund the police down on the ground floor in LA in the ghetto. But then when she saw some young boy with an airsoft gun on her property hunting squirrels or something, she called the police and the whole town police showed up. You're talking about helicopters and fire engines and police cars and SWAT vehicles. All of that showed up. So rules for thee, not for me means I am the upper crust. I am the elite. You're not. And there's no in between. That's how it works. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Now we got a whole lot more going on. We're going to get into Fani Willis and a whole lot more. Oh, speaking about the haves and the have-nots and different things going on, this is something I saw about China. They said they built this apartment building in like one day. Hold on. I got to make sure I'm saying the right thing here. I have a caption that I want to check out, but I have a video that I'm going to show you of the actual situation going on. All right. And y'all give me a second here. I think it was on, where was this? It might have been on Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to them. And their caption read, let's load up here. Chinese construction company builds a 10-story residential building in 28 hours. Again, Chinese construction company builds a 10-story residential building in 28 hours. And this is the actual video of it right here. Let's check it out. Here we go.
Chinese never cease to amaze the world. This time, the Chinese company Broad Group has developed a building assembly technology that provides unparalleled construction speeds. It took just 28 hours and 45 minutes to create a 10-story residential building using the prefabricated components of the living building. The core elements of this new system are factory-made modules built around a stainless steel frame. All typical components of a living space, including insulation, electrical wiring, plumbing, glazing, ventilation system, and finishing, are fixed onto this frame. For the flooring, Broad Group uses their developed B-core slabs. These slabs consist of 2 steel sheets interconnected with numerous short vertical tubes across the entire surface. According to the company, this solution is 10 times lighter and 100 times stronger than traditional constructions. An important advantage of the living building is that its individual components are sized to fit standard cargo containers. Thanks to this, the prefabricated blocks can be conveniently transported to almost any location worldwide using existing transportation methods. Chinese never.
So what do you guys think? Do you think you would live in a Lego house? Because that's what it is. You guys saying it in the comments. A Lego house. Again, this is a 10-story residential building. 10 stories. It built in 28 hours. It had wiring. It had all of that. I suppose it had wiring, plumbing, the whole thing. Would you live there? Now, China is known for what they call tofu construction, right? Construction that is put up very quickly. It looks kind of nice on the outside, but really, it's really bad quality. The same kind of thing that the migrants do, but different story. These new houses that they build are completely trash. Like in my neighborhood, I've said it before, I think they knew that I have some kind of online presence, so they made sure to build my house properly, knock on wood. But other houses in my neighborhood, catastrophic problems. One of my neighbors had their whole backyard dug up because of some problems that were happening during the construction process. It's all kind of stuff going on with some of the newer builds because they're using this cheap labor. Hey, they work really hard. They do jobs you don't want to do. Yeah, but they're getting paid less than minimum wage in some instances to build a house. Is that who you want building your home, your forever home that you spent $500,000 on $1 million on? Is that who you want building your house? I don't really think so, but I'll move on. So yeah, that's what's happening right now over in China. And I was reading some of the comments and somebody said, well, look, I'm on the Georgia Advisory Board, and these houses are coming to the USA very soon. Think about it. You got a housing crisis right now, so why not just have these little towns, these little areas set up with prefab, stuff like this, and put them in there? Okay, things that are kind of hard to destroy. If you got problems, you can just swap out a part. Like, let's say a house gets destroyed by a unit gets destroyed by a tenant. They could just bring in the Lego pieces and fix it up that way rather than having one bad unit. So these houses are coming to the USA. If they're not already here, get ready. They are coming. Okay, we got a whole lot more going on. And shout out to you guys again for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Now, here's a video about home security. And I want to ask you guys, is it too much? Just enough? A little bit? What's going on? All right, let's check it out. Now, this caption says, my husband went on a business trip. I urgently need to take security measures at home while I'm alone. Now, I think this might just be a way to promote the products because this is kind of over the top in my opinion. Okay, we got music in the background. We're not going to play that. So he's leaving and then she locks the door and then there's a fingerprint lock on the outside on a regular doorknob. And then what else? You have this device. She says she also uses a portable door lock that's always with her. And locks the deadbolt. That door looks kind of raggedy though. I tell you what, I had my front door replaced after I moved in. And I tell you, that door right there, it's like an interior door almost. Okay, if you got a pair of boots, you can go ahead and bang that down pretty easy off the hinges right there on the right-hand side. But I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying these little gadgets right here ain't going to do nothing. And then she has a doorstop alarm. And she locks the garage and backyard entrance using the portable door lock. A screen door, man, look, your house is not secure. You got windows, man, please. But I respect the, you know, I respect the attention to security, closing the blinds, closing the windows, installing smart cameras in all the main rooms. Yeah, 20 windows, exactly, J Flow. Man, please, you get a brick straight through the windows. Keeping personal safety devices like whistles, flashlight, panic button, or alarm readily available. Now, here's something that she mentioned. She talked about all these things. Hold on. She said she has a door stop alarm, a portable door lock, deadbolt, closing the windows on the blinds, smart cameras, personal safety devices like whistles, flashlight, panic buttons, alarm, readily accessible. And let's let her finish. And then I'm going to ask you, what is she actually missing? What is she missing? She says, I keep all this under my pillow. My sleep is very sensitive. I hope my husband will come back soon and I can relax a bit. Okie dokie. Now, you got a camera, all that kind of stuff, but what is she missing? You got all that except for the most important thing. Can you guys figure out what she's missing? Aside from maybe like bars on the window, there's one main thing that I would have above all else. All right. And you guys are pretty much getting it right there in the comments. Missing that firearm. Oh, yeah. That'd be the main thing. It's like, look, I don't need no flashlight, nothing like that, because one of my guns that was, again, lost tragically in a boating accident, I got a light right up under it. I got a flashlight and a beam. I bought a device allegedly on Amazon that has the red dot and the flashlight combined. I can strobe. I could put it on just regular, a steady stream of light, and I could do my red beam all with the same thing. Okay. And it's loaded. It's ready to rock. Allegedly when I had it. And okay. And a dog. Yep. A dog and a gun. That'd be your two biggest defense right there. A nice, sturdy dog that understands how to handle home invaders, intruders. It's going to bark. It's going to attack if you need it to attack, and a pistol. Okay, it's very, very simple. You got all these gadgets, ain't gonna do no good. They're gonna throw a brick right through your window and hop in like the Atlanta boys be in them Dodge Chargers. Okay, listen, when you got your car in the parking lot, they pop your window open immediately. They will go up under your car seat, get your gun, and be gone in 15 seconds. Easy. Same way with your house. They bust that window in, or the glass break, and they up. You know what? I thought I heard my house being broken into one time. Middle of the night, I'm asleep. I'm hearing glass breaking. I get up immediately, and I go for my pistol. ASAP. Now, once I get outside on my gun, it's a few seconds. Once I get outside, I realize that it was my clock. It had fallen from the wall, and the clock had glass on it. So that's what I saw that broke. Okay. Because I'm listening. I don't hear any other sounds. You know, I'm thinking, okay, maybe they didn't come in. I'm going around corners, slowly making sure that everything is good. I got it ready. It's loaded. It's ready to rock. Okay. I see any false movement is getting deleted. I see a roach go the wrong way in my house. The roach is getting sent to Jesus immediately. But luckily for the roach, I don't got no roaches. I'm just saying. Luckily for the spider, the roach, the rabbit, whatever, it was nobody in my house, no animals, no insects. It was just a clock because it had fallen. It was like I had one of those. It wasn't on a hook securely, so it fell. So yeah, all them gadgets, you didn't have what you needed. Now let's go ahead and skip forward here. I got a lot of videos I didn't really get to, but let's get to Fani. Oh, we got to get to Fani Willis. Now we all know about Fani. Hold on. Hold on. Before I get to it, we got new stuff that keeps coming out. Fani is the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, she really is. She really, really is. Now, hold on. We got a lot to really talk about. We got to talk about why it's important. Why is this a case that you should think about? Why? You got to get into it, right? So let's go here. Now, we all know what's happening with Fani Willis, the Fulton County DA, District Attorney. She's currently prosecuting Donald Trump and many other co-defendants in the election interference case. And to her right, that is her alleged boyfriend, boy toy, whatever you want to call him, Nathan Wade. Now, Nathan Wade was brought on in November 21 as a special prosecutor in the election interference case. Okay. Now, the day after he was brought on to the case, he filed for divorce from his wife of 26 years. 26 years they've been married. All right. Now, this is his wife. Now, again, I don't like when people use the wrong words. Publications, people are saying that's his ex-wife. Now, you guys please correct me in the chat. If you are going through a divorce, you're not divorced, right? If you're still going to court, because remember, he filed for divorce from her in November of 21. They're still going to court over it right now in 24. If your divorce is not final, you are still married. Am I right or wrong? You separated, estranged, not living together, not getting along, seeing other people, doesn't matter. You are still married. Am I right or am I wrong? And she's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, 100%. And then some are going to say, well, hey, ABL, why would Nathan Wade leave her? I don't know what their marriage was like. I have no idea. She might have been a demon. He might have been a demon. I have no idea what their marriage was like. I can't just judge based on looks. And it's Atlanta. You got beautiful women everywhere, all over the place. That's just Atlanta for you. Atlanta, if you like beautiful black women, Atlanta is for you. All right. But different story. I digress. Some are asking me, hey, why would he leave his wife of 26 years, who he has 2 grown children with? Why would he leave her for Fani Willis? Because the allegation is that Nathan Wade and Fani Willis have been fornicating for a while now before he became part of the case. And as part of the relationship, he's been giving her kickbacks. Now, understand this. Understand why this is a thing. Understand why this is a thing. If Fani Willis got any kind of kickback from this, I got to back up a little bit. As a DA, you are not allowed to profit from your case. You get paid your salary as the DA in Fulton County, and that's it. You can't get money from money that you give out from your office to a prosecutor. She's given Mr. Wade $650,000 since January 22. $650,000 US dollars. And the allegation is that some of that money has been given back to her, at least indirectly. Plane tickets and vacations and cruises and outings and things of this nature. That right there could be considered a felony offense. This is what happened to George Santos. That's why he has been removed from Congress. This is not something that's very small. George Santos, what he did was take money from the campaign, his campaign, and write a check to himself and then go buy things with it. You can't do that. Okay, you cannot do that. Ilhan Omar had a loophole by marrying her consultant, Tim Minette, and giving the consultant money. And the consultancy was established before she got married to him. You see? So she kept giving him 70% of her campaign money, and it would go right back to her because she's paying a legitimate service, and the service can spend the money wherever they want. But what Fani Willis is doing, she allegedly brought him on after they established a relationship sexually or romantically. She's giving him a lot of money. Now, she defended herself in church talking about, oh, well, I brought on 3 people to prosecute the case. Why are they picking on the black person? Well, the other 2, you gave $72,000 and $90,000 respectively in the same time frame, 22 to 24. So how do you jump from $72,000 and $90,000 to $650,000? And I'm not making the mistake. 72,00, 90,00, 650,000. How do you jump to that? Is it because y'all been fornicating? Is it because y'all been going all around the country, going to California wineries and cruises in the Bahamas and places in Texas, random stuff, staying in random hotels. Is that the reason? And we got receipts. Hold on. Now, this is a receipt right here because, again, there's a divorce still going on between him and his wife, and it's been contentious. The divorce has been going on since 21. We're now into 2024. So here is Nathan Wade's credit card. This is from September 18th, 2022 to October 18th, 2022. This comes from his wife because they are still married. Okay, this was submitted as evidence in the court case. And again, you guys know in Georgia, adultery while married is a crime. Yes, it is. Infidelity while married is illegal in Georgia, misdemeanor offense, but it's still an offense. You won't go to prison over it, but if you're going through a divorce that's contentious and it's proven that you cheated on your wife or your husband, that is used against you because it's a legal thing. It is a crime. It is an offense. And if you want to be a prosecutor and you are allegedly having an affair with the DA and the DA brought you on and has been getting kickbacks, now we got a problem. So look, let's see some of these things here. Okay. All right. Audi Atlanta, September 26th, you spent $6,000. That was probably a down payment on the vehicle, I would presume. That's not going to be a car payment. You wouldn't pay a car payment to Audi of Atlanta. You would pay that to your financier, which probably would not be the dealership itself. If anything, it would be Audi if they finance, or it'd be your bank, Chase Bank, JPMorgan, or whatever. That was probably a vehicle down payment, which you get repoed pretty soon because he about to get fired from the case and he might go to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. You have a hotel, I believe, somewhere, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and then you got Royal Caribbean. Cruise line, $1,300 and then $1,200. Oh, we got credit card. Yes, we got credit card receipts. Okay, then we have something from Clara Bowman. I'm not sure who that is. This is a ticket, American Air. Then we have a ticket for himself, American Air. And then, what we got right here, Nathan Wade on, again, this is his credit card statement. Nathan Wade purchased a ticket for Fani Willis. Now, you know you can do that. You can buy a ticket for someone from your account. So let's say I wanted to fly somebody out, right? I will put it on my credit card. I'll pay for it, but I'll put it in your name because when they're flying, they got to present their ID and show their name. I paid for it, but they can just show their ID. I might give them the pass. You know, you print a ticket out, give them the ticket. They go to the TSA, show their ID, maybe the pass, and then they good. But you pay for it in your name. So if y'all not together, if y'all not fornicating, why are you paying for a plane ticket to go to, where's this? Miami, Florida? Why are you paying for a plane ticket? What's going on? Huh? And we got Marietta, Walmart. That's where you stay, probably Marietta. And why are you at a Holiday Inn Express in Woodstock? What's going on at the Holiday Inn? And y'all standing together in a hotel, kind of low key. Why are you way out in Woodstock? That's far. Woodstock is not, listen, Marietta is kind of like above Atlanta a little bit, kind of suburban, kind of a little bit. Woodstock is a little bit further out. That's kind of, if you want to be low, if you wanted to be in the cut, if you want to be discreet, you would go to Woodstock, somewhere out. Sandy Springs, maybe even like Atworth, if you want to be way far away. But Woodstock, you kind of out there. They're not going to be hot being in downtown Atlanta where everybody sees you. You're not going to the Hyatt right there in the middle of downtown. You're going to be way out in Woodstock at the hotel. And then the next day, 2 days later, you're going to Dallas-Fort Worth. You and Fani again. So October the 5th, you got a Miami trip you paid for with Fani. And then another one, October the 13th, to Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, if you are not giving Fani a kickback, if you guys are not together, why are you paying for her plane ticket, sir? What's going on? What is happening? Like, if it's just about a work colleague, I don't know about y'all, but I've never paid for a colleague's plane ticket with my money. Why would I do that? Look, you got your ticket, I got my ticket. I've gone places with people, or I've met them there at a convention or something like that. Why would I pay your plane ticket? Now, I've been on trips with young ladies I've been involved with. Now, I might pay their plane ticket because we're together. We are an item. I'm not paying for your ticket on my money if we're not. You got your own money. You pay your own ticket. It's simple. And he paid for not one, but two. Now, let's get to a little bit more before I run out of time here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, here is 11 Alive ATL, and they're going to get into more of what's happening here. So let's keep on rocking.
Court filings now accuse Fulton County Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade of buying airline tickets for District Attorney Fani Willis. The filing includes credit card statements that back up the claim, according to his wife's attorneys. 11 Alive Zach Merchant has been digging through the documents and has this breakdown tonight.
A judge announced a hearing is now set for Monday to evaluate the claims in the divorce case.
Not Monday. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. So that's, Monday. This Monday coming up.
Between Nathan Wade and his wife, Joycelyn. Now we're breaking down how that could impact the ongoing criminal case against former President Donald Trump that Nathan Wade is helping to lead. These new developments all stem from a recent subpoena served on DA Willis, compelling her to testify in the Wade's divorce case. Willis filed a motion in court just yesterday trying to block that subpoena, arguing she had no legally relevant information to share. But today, Joycelyn Wade responded in court, releasing credit card statements alleged to be her husband's that show he spent more than $1,000 for a passenger listed as Fani Willis to accompany him on trips to Miami and San Francisco in 2022 and 2023. Joycelyn Wade's attorneys wrote that they wanted to depose Willis to determine the nature of her relationship with Nathan Wade. Previous 11 Alive reporting revealed that Wade has been paid more than $500,000 more than the other special prosecutors on the case. Stressing that he was speaking only hypothetically, longtime former Gwinnett County District Attorney Danny Porter says if the allegations are true, it would reflect badly on Willis's judgment as a lead prosecutor.
If the allegations are true, like the bottom line is, if all of what is being alleged is true about Fani and Nathan Wade, the whole case is done, because what'll happen is she'll recuse herself, and so will he, and so will the entire Fulton County DA's office. So in theory, the case is still alive, but how can the case go forward if everyone is off it? If everyone that brought the case forward has to get off, then how does it live? You see?
Ultimately, it'd be a question for the voters whether or not they want to reelect a person who exercised poor judgment.
But when it comes to how these allegations might impact the ongoing criminal case against Mr. Trump, Porter says it would take a lot of proof for Wade or Willis to be disqualified from the case.
Unless they could show that it was all part of a plan to pay him more money and then she would draw the benefit, more or less a kickback, then it's really irrelevant to the criminal case, to the Trump case.
And we have repeatedly reached out to Nathan Wade about these allegations. So far, he has not responded.
So that's what's happening right there. So somebody asked, are legal separated? I mean, they may be legal separated, but it doesn't matter. When you file for a divorce, depending upon where you live, you automatically have legal separation after filing. But it doesn't really matter when you're talking about being married or not. You're still married at the end of the day. You know, so either you're married or you're not married. And that's just kind of what that is. Now, I got another video right quick for you guys. This is Fox 5 Atlanta, DA Fani Willis's explosive accusations of misconduct. So Fani responded to Nathan Wade's wife because Nathan Wade's wife subpoenaed Fani to court in the divorce proceedings. Fani was like, the wife is harassing me. I lied to you not. She said the wife of the guy that she's allegedly fornicating with is harassing her. You can't make it up. You cannot make this stuff up.
New information tonight in the explosive allegations against Fulton County DA Fani Willis and her controversial relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us tonight for Fox 5 News at 6. I'm Tom Haynes, in for Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Wade's estranged wife is providing bank records she claims show that the two attorneys vacationed together multiple times during the Trump investigation.
Let's get out to Fox 5's Brittany Edney, who's live at the Fulton County Courthouse tonight. Brittany.
I'm going to go ahead a little bit here.
Prosecutor Nathan Wade for her election interference case against former President Donald Trump.
I appointed 3 special counsel, as is my right to do, paid them all the same hourly rate.
Remember this? He was like, well, they got all the same hourly rate. Come on, Fani. You think we're dumb? You may have, and that was a lie, actually, because I was thinking they might have got paid the same hourly rate, but obviously Nathan Wade got many more hours and a lot more money. But even what she said right here was a lie, and they're gonna show it.
They only attacked one.
But newly obtained employment contracts between Willis's office and the 3 special counsels shows that statement is inaccurate. Wade's agreement shows he made $250 for 2 contracts. One ended in May of 2023, the other in December of 2023.
And that's per hour. That's $250 per hour.
While Anna Cross's contract through June of 2023 shows the same rate, John Floyd's compensation in both agreements is much lower. He made $150 per hour for his first contract and $200 for his second. And Floyd is a renowned expert in RICO cases.
So she said in church recently that she paid all 3 the same hourly rate. She paid Wade and one of the firms the same hourly rate, although the person got paid ultimately about 70 grand compared to his 650 grand. But the other person got paid a lower hourly rate and about 90 grand altogether compared to his $650,000. I mean, look, the corruption is real and right in front of your face.
One former prosecutor says it's hard to compare compensation due to the opportunity of being involved in this historical case.
I am sure Mr. Floyd wants to get involved in this case, as a lot of attorneys would. So it's hard to look at the pay differentials when you're looking at the magnitude of the case involved.
Another well-known former prosecutor questions Wade's selection in general.
You compare him to both Floyd and Anna Cross, who is a brilliant prosecutor. He doesn't seem qualified to lead this case, but even that, there's nothing insidious.
They go to that same guy right there. They got him everywhere. It's like, can we get another expert, a lawyer in Atlanta? I know it's more than this one random dude. Now I got one more video, then I'll get to some calls here. And thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. I wanted to show the one about her saying that the wife is in the way and harassing her. Let's check this out. Hold on. Here we go.
Explosive allegations and a story swirling around Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis.
In a new court filing, Willis says the wife of the man she hired to be a special prosecutor is interfering with this case. The document alleges special prosecutor Nathan Wade's wife is using her divorce case to impact the Fulton County case investigating former President Trump for meddling in Georgia's 2020 election.
Imagine saying that the wife of the man that you allegedly have been with for the past 2 or 3 years, imagine saying that she is harassing you. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's beyond crazy. I don't care, estranged, separated, married. That's you know what? You could use any word to describe them all you want to. What's the one that matters the most? Married? Sure does.
Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live tonight outside the Fulton County Courthouse.
Doug, Willis will have to address these allegations in court, and this is going to happen soon.
Yeah, very soon, guys. Just a couple of weeks. A judge today said that DA Willis will have to go into the Fulton County Courthouse on February 15th and be there in person. He was very specific about that, to go ahead and respond to these allegations of an improper relationship with the man she hired to be a special prosecutor. But we'll know more before then. He also ordered that she had to respond to these in written fashion by February 2nd. And so that wasn't the only court filing that we got today. You just mentioned it a moment ago, but a few hours after we learned about that that court date, Willis's attorneys made another court filing accusing Wade's estranged wife, Jocelyn, of interfering with this case through that divorce proceeding. The filing says she served Willis with a subpoena to testify in the Wade's divorce case to, quote, embarrass and harass her. The document even went so far as to accuse Jocelyn Wade of conspiring with defendants in this election indictment to derail the case altogether.
That's crazy. That's totally crazy. And you know what? Here's a lesson. There's a lesson here. There's quite a few lessons. First of all, don't break the law. Don't be corrupt. Don't be engaging in self-dealing. Don't be engaging in kickbacks, employer vendor kickbacks. Don't engage in federal crimes, civil liabilities. Don't do stuff like that. Don't come into a case trying to indict the president of the USA, still engaging in your regular local Fulton County corrupt politics. Don't do that. But the main thing is, if somebody's married, leave them alone. Separated, whatever. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Ain't nobody trying to hear it. You know, oh, we've been going through a divorce. It's been 5 years. You're still married. Let's just cut the garbage. You probably were by the house the other day with your wife and your kids. So stop playing games. You know what I mean? You're married at the end of the day. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I got one more video for you guys, and then I'm going to get to the calls. I got to show this one from Jerry Seinfeld. I'm not quite sure if this is a new video, old video, or whatever, but I got to show it, and then I'm going to get to the calls and the super chats and all that good stuff. So here we go.
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males of 22 episodes.
Yeah, let's get into that.
No, but you
take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here?
So I guess the reporter was trying to ask Jerry Seinfeld about probably his podcast, the Comedians Across with Coffee, talking about how most of the guests are white males.
Oh, this really pisses me off. But go ahead. Really pisses me off. People think it's the census or something. I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares?
Did you know that Jerry Seinfeld did an entire rap album with the rapper Wale? And the whole album, he was on like interludes and stuff like that. Now, he wasn't rapping or anything, but he was literally on it. And they had Seinfeld like cover art and everything. So I mean, this question is just so dumb.
It's just funny, you know. Funny is the world that I live in. You're funny, I'm interested. You're not funny, I'm not interested. Okay. And I have no interest in gender or race or anything like that. But everyone else is kind of with their little calculating. Is this the exact right mix? You know, I think that's. To me, it's anti-comedy.
I have.
So, yeah, here's a picture, like, during that time, like a little promo run picture of Wale and Seinfeld. And it was a mixtape, not an album, pardon me. It's called Mixtape About Nothing. And that's them doing a little promo run right here. See, they got the different kind of shoes on. Hold on. See the Jordans on the feet? All right. And he had Timberland boots on right there in the clip. He from New York. Like, it's not this whole race thing. You know what I mean? It's like, what do we have as far as similarities? What do we have in common? That's the main thing. All right. And he has a goldfish on his plate. Did you even notice that? Really crazy. But yeah, shout out to Jerry Seinfeld, a man of the culture, really. Okay. Good show. And then an amazing spinoff show called Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. So shout out to them. Shout out to the New York Jays like Jerry Seinfeld and your man from Curb. So yeah, let's keep on going here. We got super chats on deck, then we got calls on deck. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Was it the album about? Okay, the album About Nothing. The album About Nothing, that was with Seinfeld and Wale. And I think that's where that song with Usher came into. Probably one of his best songs, which is played at a lot of weddings and everything else. I think Seinfeld was on that song, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure. Y'all let me know. But anyway, keep on moving here. And super chats, let's get to those. Shout out to Papa Naya Shelley, who says, who else tries to blame ABL's, who else tries to time ABL's piece at the end of his videos? I nailed it only like 4 times last year, going for at least 10 times this year. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you to Lothair, who says, a lot of our gummy, candy, and gelatin comes from horses. Very interesting. Thank you to Lothair again, who says, Nikki Haley is just a Bush administration all over again. Tons of questionable war crimes. Heck no to the no. Right on. Shout out to Nick Corio, who says, Sean Strickland is my spirit animal after that beautiful speech, and I'm shocked he has not yet been canceled, but God bless him. Yeah, you know, Sean Strickland, he's in a sport where you can't really cancel guys. I mean, you could cancel him, but how? In MMA, how are you going to get canceled from MMA? That's not really a thing. Shout out to Jalapeno Ketchup, who says, did you see the Pizza Hut book program? Or did I do the Pizza Hut book program as a kid? I don't remember the Pizza Hut book program. If you read a certain number of books, you got a free personal pan pizza. I don't remember that. That's actually something pretty good. They probably did not want me to do that because I was, you know, pizza and hamburgers. Look, anything, when I was a kid, anything dealing with pizza and hamburgers, count me in. I was in there like swimming. That's probably why I was so big at a young age, 6 foot tall at 14. But anyway, thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says Trump, Strickland 2024, U.S. Shout out to you. It's a good team right there. Thank you to Justin Light, who says, I have to correct you on something. The price of liquor license in Miami isn't $500,000. At most it is $5,000. Nobody would pay that on top of other permits and licenses. But what's the actual number? You said it's at most $5,000. What's the actual number, though? All right. But thank you for your super chat, man. I appreciate you. Thank you to Peter Versone, who says 2 questions. Love the flags. Where are they from? Did you see the World Economic the Foundation, where the woman in Indian war paint coughed on everyone at the stage? I played that last stream. That was crazy. Totally nuts. And the flags, I had a vendor, but my man kind of vanished on me, so I'm trying to get a new vendor for the flags. But thank you for your comment. I appreciate you. Thank you to Karen for the fist bumping emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Slenderella Charming for the emoji donation. Says thank you. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, what did I say about Fani? Do you remember? I don't. Shout out to my man JD, who says, been watching you for about 5 years, and this is the first time catching you live because of work. Wife and I love the show, bro. Keep it up. Big Rocks, Little Rocks, Big Rocks. Hilarious. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Troy Livingston, who says, dropping a dime for a deuce. That's the S right there. 100. Shaking my head. Never cheat down. Never cheat down is crazy to say. You can cheat, but cheat up. Don't cheat down. Thank you to Chewy Pretzel, who says, thoughts on Chick-fil-A having to open on Sundays. Yeah, that was like, I did a video on that, actually. I think that's a proposal in New York at Chick-fil-A's near rest stops. And I think they shouldn't have to do that because, look, if a company says they're closed on Sunday, then they're closed on Sunday. You shouldn't have local government dictate what a restaurant does to that extent. Now, when you're talking about safety, things of that nature, that's one thing. Food safety or whatever, okay, I understand. You can't be in there with a bunch of rodents and whatnot, just walking around, people not washing their hands. That's one thing, safety. But as far as hours of operation, it shouldn't be, oh, but you guys are closed on Sunday. Let's not do that. Be open on Sunday. That's crazy. Thank you to RWD Channel, who says, I'm white, but I've got black great-grandparents. I bought myself a steak dinner. My reparations are complete. Thank you to Peter Versone, who says, Peter version 1. Okay, there we go. Everyone gets it wrong. Yeah, I would never get that right. I would be like Treaty of Versailles or something like that. Okay. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype if you want to call in and be right there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. If it doesn't work properly, don't blame me. Blame the white man because it ain't my fault. But let's go ahead and get into it. Again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's get rocking and rolling. And here we go. Let's go to 631. Your line, I'm speaking to.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
How are you tonight? I'm calling from New York, and I got to tell you, How do I get the hell out of here?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have to hit the lotto or something. I think it's like 10 grand to move.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
You know, it's very expensive, and everywhere you go is expensive. Connecticut is like half the price. Not too bad. But down south is more. I think more than New York.
No. It's much better down here.
But that's because your taxes and stuff, right?
Everything is lower. Like where I live, there's no state income tax where I live.
Like housing, I'm gonna get a little house because it's just me and my dying dog, 21-year-old dog.
Well, how much do you want to spend, if you don't mind me asking?
Not much.
I mean, you got
like around 150.
Well, I mean, for that, it's kind of hard to go anywhere, but you might have to go like.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
before the migrants came in here, I was going to buy a condo in South Carolina, and $70,000 was a lot. A lot, but I didn't like it because I had these HOAs and things, and the police were like, don't go buy a condo because they'll destroy it, they'll kill it, they'll do a home invasion. What? This is a beautiful place, Myrtle Beach, in Carolina Forest. So then you mentioned Tennessee, so I'm saying, I don't know, it's just me. I'd like a little 2-bedroom and 1 bathroom, because I hate cleaning the bathroom. Anyway, I got to get the hell out of New York. You have no idea. They don't care about Americans at all in New York.
I hear you.
All for the migrants. And they're not even supposed to be in Nassau and Suffolk County. But they're living in illegal apartments with New York City telephone numbers and addresses. So they're getting all the things from Manhattan and all the benefits from Long Island as well.
Right.
So they know what they're doing. I don't have any sympathy for them at all. Makes me sick. They shouldn't even be allowed to breathe, the right to breathe in here, And now they're trying to take away benefits from me and raise my taxes higher because of the budget. I said, and guess what that is? What is that? The illegal aliens in here. And that's a correct term, by the way, not illegal immigrants. That's incorrect. Look, you can look it up in immigration law. Because none of them are vetted, none of them want the shots either. That was another thing I wanted to correct them on. They're offering them shots. That Johnson from Chicago, were offering them shots and, care. And I said they don't want them. And they're refusing to take them. And their kids are going to school. When my kids went to school, they had to have all their shots. Otherwise, you got a note at home that says your kid can't come to school on Monday if he doesn't get his booster shot. This world's going out crazy.
Right on.
I wish I could go back in time. I swear to God. Terrible. This is the worst I've ever seen it. I hope Donald Trump gets in there soon, man. Because they're going to do something before Donald Trump gets in. I honestly feel that way. And New York is the number one target.
Right on, boy. Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, and all the rest of it that you talked about tonight was kind of like, blah. I love you. I watch you all the time.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for the call.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great night.
Same to you. She's always funny. Tell me some of them topics you had, man. That won't it, man. I ain't like that too much, but shout out to her. Shout out to her for the call. All right, let's keep on going here. All right, let's go. 859 to the line. Who am I speaking to?
I'm about to head to my second job, man. Enjoying the show.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right, man. Hey, I was listening to the whole thing with the Sean Strickland, journalist interview and stuff like that, he really dogged him real hard, like extremely hard.
Oh yeah, it was an amazing interview.
I'm not a big fan of what he said about his supposedly if he had a son, but like it's literally the pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, what he said was kind of inappropriate and kind of messed up. But you support a dictator called Trudeau. You're funded by a guy who literally takes away human rights and labels anybody who complains about it as a far right neo-Nazi, supposedly, unquote, unquote. And it's like, I would have said the exact same thing to that journalist, that he is pathetic, weak, annoying. And even if somebody says, I'm an ally, I would just like, bleh. It's like, listen, I don't want people to worship me because of my sexuality. I just want somebody to tolerate me. That's all I'm asking for. But hey, man, I'm enjoying the show, man. I got to head in. Oh, by the way, yeah, I don't want Nikki Haley in office. That'd be the Bush administration all over again. It'd be the exact same stuff, and the media is going to simply ignore it or support it. That's the reality. It'd be so many false flag attacks. You wouldn't. It'd be like Palestine and Israel all over again. Hey, see you later, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, much love. Thank you for the phone call.
All right, now.
Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the call. Let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to 310. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Amanda.
All righty. What's happening?
Hi. I just wanted to call about the Fani Willis situation.
Yes.
I just feel like there's absolutely patterns coming to light, I guess you could say. I actually worked in her administration and currently have 3 lawsuits pending against her for the past year and a half. One of them is a whistleblower for misappropriation of funds and with grant funds, federal grant funds. So I just think that with all this coming to light, it kind of shows a pattern just of, ethical issues and abuse of power and misappropriation of funds. So I guess when all this came to light, I wasn't surprised, but I absolutely think that it's, she has patterns. I've heard from other people and employees in the office of other things that have been not on the up and up. So to see this come to light was definitely, I guess, vindication in some regard. And also, I think, what goes on in the dark always comes to the light. So I just wanted to say that.
Wow. So do you think that this whole thing between her and Nathan Wade, you think that has some legitimacy? You think that's probably something going on there?
Well, I don't know about, okay. I will say this. When the last administration, because I worked for the Fulton County DA for 4 years, I was in the administration before she came in. And so when she came in and won, everybody in the current administration had to apply for her administration. And Nathan was in my interview all the way in 2020. And I know other people whose interview he was in, and he was always around the office. That was way before the Trump thing. And I know that they're supposedly longtime friends, but he was definitely always around.
Okay, I see. Makes sense to me, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Fani, I don't know, man. If we have a legitimate legal system, Fani's toast. Big rocks, little rocks, in my opinion. Because this guy, like, that's going to be really, the downfall of man is when he cannot control himself when it comes to women. I'm not going to blame the woman. I'm going to blame Nathan. Nathan, you married and you got kids and you throw that away and go do this and get yourself almost about to be locked up. I mean, that's your fault, sir. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. About yourself?
Oh, pretty good, all things considering. That Joe Biden's still president, But, okay, back when Trump he should have done a slow-speed parade with, like, the Trumpmobile, kind of like the Trump version of the Folkmobile with the bulletproof glass. That would have been awesome. But now, when you had that live on when Trump got arrested, I said this is going to be a bear trap. Remember? It was going to be a bear trap for the prosecutor and all that. The reason why I said that is they're lawyers. Most lawyers I know are not squeaky clean. And if you're going to draw attention to yourself on a national level, you better not have your hand in any cookie jars. You know what I mean, brother?
Right on.
And now, I heard some mild in the background story of Fauci being investigated. And I want to close with this. I wish I could ask a favor for you to do a Google search on this topic. And the topic is bacterial pneumonia 1918. That's it. If you would do that, and then 3/4 of the first website that pops up on Google, 3/4 of the page down, I would like to know the name of the doctor that's on that page, if you would, sir, because I'm tired of being banned off Facebook and everything for misinformation about masks, about what cause of death was during the Spanish pandemic, when I got all my information off government websites. Because the first website I'll bring you to, if you Google bacterial pneumonia 1918, is the NIH website. 3/4 of the way down is Dr. Anthony Fauci's name. And the majority of the deaths were from bacterial pneumonia caused by wearing a dirty mask.
Well, there it is.
And for the past 3 years, I've been, ostracized, everything else, banned, barred. So there you go. Quick Google search, everybody. ABL, God bless you. God bless America. I heard on NBC, I'll close with this, that they're planning on doing a military coup if Trump wins.
I say good luck with that.
We may not have to waste money on a trial. You have a great night, brother.
Thank you for the call.
God bless you. God bless America.
Right on. All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the call. Yeah, I say good luck with that. The whole military coup, that ain't. Yeah, I say good luck with that. That's going to be, you do something like that, you're going to throw the whole country in the war. All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Oh, hey, ABL.
What's going on?
Oh, hey, mate, how's it going? It's Danny. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Great, man. Great show, as usual, mate. Yeah, great call so far as well. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Sean Strickland, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of him. I've been following him for quite a while. I watch a lot of UFC, so I'm, kind of familiar with these guys. And yeah, you can't. Again, you ask dumb questions, you're gonna get that kind of response. And if you know Sean Strickland, you know not to. I mean, you should know not to ask them these kind of questions. And again, I understand that you're a journalist and you can ask whatever you want, but it's a UFC event. It's about fighting. You know what I mean? And to turn up there and ask a question just like that, it's just. I mean, personally, if I was a security, I'd just throw these people out, man, because I don't think we've got time for this. But I guess you got to let these people ask these kinds of questions,
Right.
Yeah, and he kind of reminded me of, Mr. Anderson when he's talking to Morpheus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was kind of like, you're a virus and stuff like that. It kind of reminded me of that. And I mean, it's true though. I mean, this whole thing is kind of a plague, really. It is an infection that's constantly been spreading and infecting the minds of a lot of these people. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, look, man, if you're going to ask that kind of question, you shouldn't be mad at his response. I mean, just don't ask the question then if you're not willing to accept another side of the opinion, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. But he's fighting, isn't he fighting tonight? Or is it tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. It might be tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I watched him. He was on I don't know if you heard about it, when he was on a podcast with Thea Vaughn, and it was quite a sort of emotional sort of interview. I don't know if you heard about that one.
No, I've not seen that. I got to check it out.
Yeah, it was just talking about his, his childhood and his upbringing and stuff like that. And you could kind of see him like halfway through the interview. You could tell he was sort of holding his emotions in, and then eventually just can't sort of burst out. And Yeah, it was a really tough one to watch. Really tough one to watch, man. And you don't really see that a lot. You know what I mean? You don't really see that kind of side to people a lot. So it was quite it was just quite good listening to his story and his background and stuff like that. And but yeah, man. Yeah, thanks again, ABL, taking my call. Yeah, great show again, mate. Thanks. Yeah, take care, mate.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, see you, mate. Bye.
All right, great call. Yeah, I got to see that one with the Theo Vine interview. Yeah, I got to see that. Sounds pretty good. Let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to 740. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, ABL.
This is me.
Hey, man, I just wanted to say, man, I appreciate all the hard work you put into your videos. I watch them as often as I can. But my question is, who do you think Trump should pick for VP?
That's a good question. Vivek Ramaswamy could be a good pick. Tucker Carlson could be a good pick. Beyond that, I'm not really sure. I think those are two good ones.
Yeah, me personally, I think Vivek Ramaswamy, I think I pronounced his name right.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the obvious choice for Trump. He speaks real well. And, I mean, he's a first American candidate, just like Trump is. And plus, I mean, come on, man. I want to see him destroy Kamala Harris in the debate. That'd be so awesome to watch. That'd be like watching like one of those big-time boxing matches against like two great legends. Well, Kamala's not a legend, but you know what I mean. But, yeah, man, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, man. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, let's go, Brandon.
Right on. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. I certainly appreciate him. Let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to 201. You're online. Who am I speaking to? 201. Hello. Going once. Going twice. All right. Callers, when you call in, you got to have your ear to the phone because there will be a delay when you're looking at the screen. You're not going to be able to talk to me that way. So please have your ear to the phone. Be ready to answer. Let's keep on rocking. 423. You're online. Who am I speaking to? I was too slow on that one. All right. So shout out to you guys for the calls. I really appreciate y'all. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Let's try 423. You're online. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Alden from Upper East Tennessee, right next to the North Carolina border, not too awful far from where you are. Hope you're having a good Saturday night, my man.
Right on. How about yourself?
Man, here we've got about 6 inches of snow. It's 6 degrees. And to be honest, ABL, I'm in my shop next to my wood-burning stove listening to you and having a little bit of moonshine. Just saying.
Right on.
As always, I enjoy your content. Had a couple things. First and foremost, me and my two boys, we listen to you quite often, and we appreciate just how you go about sharing your views and sharing the news and where it's coming from your worldview and how you've evolved over time. So I just want to throw that out there to you, give you some flowers. The thing I wanted to talk about was there's two. With the Fani Willis thing, all we know is just what's been dispersed in court documents up to this point, right? That's really all we know?
As far as what, just like any kind of allegations, as far as things that are in court documents, because there's some things that are just allegations that are not necessarily in court documents. Then there's also court documents with allegations.
Right, and the allegations in the court documents are that Wade paid for trips from his credit card.
Yes. For
Fannie, okay, to go places, and so that's a conflict of interest right there. If anything, that's, if she doesn't get punished for that, that's crazy, because DAs just really aren't supposed to be even having a hint of impropriety in that regard. However, in most of our larger urban cities, that don't freaking matter. Just look at New York, look at St. Louis, and now we got Atlanta. But big thing that I wanted to ask you about is, you've been doing this for a while. You are obviously a conservative. You're open-minded. You're not. You are able to learn and to evolve. If a Democrat, if Biden gets reelected, I mean, I don't think there's a living, breathing person out there that can think that's going to happen. Like, everybody knows this dude is compromised. They don't want what's coming behind him, and they see how his programs are basically tearing up the fabric of America. Am I correct in assuming that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, I think it's a overwhelming majority of people see this. Okay, so say, for example, we get hit with another pandemic, because I see them pulling out all the stops. If you remember, before the election, people were floating it out there that, like, man, if Trump's going to get reelected unless we have a recession. And then we started to have the heartbeat of COVID. I don't know if you can recall it, but they impeached him right before, they had the impeachment thing, and then COVID came, and then bam, the second impeachment. If a Democrat is in office, where do we go from here as a country? I mean, isn't there a point, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but isn't there a point where we're just going to stand up and say, we fundamentally disagree with the way you see reality, and so therefore we have to have this mark in the dirt that you will not cross? Is that where we're headed for that? I'll hang up and listen to you, man. I know that it's not really probably a popular topic, but I kind of see that's where we are. So anyway, man, love you from here in East Tennessee.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate you. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of understanding where he's going, but the issue is you got to have people who agree with you. Okay, the thing is, if you have half of the country or more who votes for one guy over the other, and then that guy wins, and other people are not even really aware of what's happening, you got to understand 70% of those who make under $30,000 don't even vote, don't even understand what's going on. A lot of these people that's walking around the street don't even know who the vice president is. If you ask the average person, who's the vice president, what's that? Who, don't even try to go any deeper, Speaker of the House or whatever. Most people don't know anything about politics. So who's really going to be your allies in a situation where you kind of want to go that direction? I don't really know. I don't think there's going to be enough allies. And if you were to try to get involved with something like that, all you're really going to do is get in contact with some federal agents and go to prison. So I don't really know. I think at a certain point, I wouldn't even really try to focus too much on the federal government. I would focus more on your local areas and try to keep that up. You'd be better off trying to maintain your local area than trying to really affect the federales, from my point of view. Not that I'm saying don't get involved with federal politics and don't vote. Still vote. Try to get the right president in there. But your main thing should be focusing on your local. Just like what's going on with Texas, they're focusing on their local. Okay, the feds ain't going to help. Now we're going to put up our own wall. And you guys want to fight us? Well, whatever. We're going to do what we're going to do as a state and not be worried about the feds. Even though the border is their responsibility, if they're not going to step up, we're going to step up as a state. Focus on your local if the federals are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Let's keep on rocking. Let's go to 201. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Manny from New Jersey. What's up, ABL?
And not too much, man. What's going on?
Yeah, so I actually want to talk about something that might be a little bit controversial.
All right.
And that's actually being critical of Donald Trump. Now, I'll tell you, I love Trump. Although I voted Hillary 2016, I voted for Trump 2020. I've always been a Democrat, but obviously now I'd say I'm more towards the center or center right. But I think a lot of Trump supporters forget to be a little bit critical of Donald Trump, and specifically with COVID, how he gave a lot of money to the pharmaceutical companies. He was critical of Sweden for not locking down. So there's a lot of talk about a new pandemic with Disease X and all these things. I want to hear more talk about people being critical of his policies if there were to be another lockdown. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I mean, what's your question you have for me?
Well, basically, if Donald Trump is in office and another COVID-19 style pandemic happens again, would you be content with the way he basically tackles the pandemic?
Well, it depends on what he does, because obviously the locking down thing was a mistake, and we all can recognize that. So if you can learn from your mistakes and you don't repeat it, then that's one thing. But if he wants to go down the whole lockdown route again, then I'm not really going to be doing that anymore. I'm not going to be locked down. If he does that, then now we got a problem. But my thing is, okay, if you can recognize that it was a mistake, now I'm not sure if he does or he doesn't. He might have been doing interviews talking about it might have been a good thing or whatever, but I'm not going to comply with that. So, and I think a lot of other Americans aren't going to comply either. So that's going to be an issue if he tries to do it. That's going to be a big issue. I think at the time when he did it, people were more willing to accept what was going on because they were afraid. But now that we know that lockdowns don't work and they really just hurt society, you're going to have fewer of us that are willing to comply. So it won't be a popular thing among anybody, left or right. And I don't think it's really going to go down the same way.
Yes. And, the other point I wanted to make is, recently we just found out about Gonzalo Lira, the kind of independent journalist, YouTube personality that was recently killed in a Ukrainian prison for speaking out against, obviously, the war in Ukraine and Zelensky, which is very much about the U.S., foreign policy as well. Obviously, you and I and everyone here in this chat is paying basically to fund this war. So the United States government did absolutely nothing about trying to save Gonzalo, because obviously he's indirectly critical of the foreign policy. And then that led me to think about Trump again, and how when he basically had Pompeo, in his cabinet, and they consulted with the CIA to basically get Julian Assange killed. So, what is your take on that? I mean, that should be a concern for all, Americans, especially Trump supporters, because obviously we go for Trump because, he's about our freedoms and stuff. But, imagine, someone like a Gonzalo Lira or a Julian Assange is caught outside of our borders in another country where there's conflict and gets thrown behind bars. I mean, what's your take on that?
Now, the thing about foreigners overseas is they are going to stay over there unless there's some kind of importance. So with the case of Brittany Griner, she was a basketball player, and that became a popular issue on social media. And it became kind of a black rights thing. It became women's rights, gay rights. The LGBT got involved because she's part of the community, married to a woman. So if it becomes popular among people socially, then the government will react. They'll act, because if they don't, then it's going to create unrest, and it'll create an unpopular moment in time for the administration. However, if there's no urgency behind the person, leave them over there. And that's just pretty much that on that.
Yeah, but he was basically unlawfully detained. I mean,
it don't matter. It's a lot of people
kind of like infringing on his freedom of speech. I mean, I don't know what the laws are over there. I don't know enough about it as far as the case is concerned and him being arrested. But
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm telling you is it doesn't matter, because it's people overseas right now that are Americans locked up that nobody really knows, because there's no importance. Because who is Brittany Griner really? Like, why is Brittany Griner more important than Gonzalo Lira? Why? Brittany Griner just became popular because she played basketball, and it became a thing that was very popular among the LGBTs and some of the minorities and women. So that's the reason why she got free. If not for that, then she'd still be over there. It doesn't matter that she shouldn't be, or none of that matters when you're dealing with people in prison abroad.
How about when it comes to, let's say, soldiers? I don't know too much about the story, but I know there was a comparison about, the Brittany, the WNBA player, and someone who is in our military or a veteran that's basically incarcerated for basically some BS reason. I wish I knew the name. I wish someone in the chat would basically just throw that name up if they knew it, but basically they did nothing for him, you know.
Well, was he in the military or was he a vet? Because if he's like, you talking about somebody in active duty that was captured while they were on duty, or a guy who was not in the military anymore, like which one?
Man, I wish I knew a little bit
because
more.
Because that's way different. Because you're talking about like an oil tanker. They get like if they detain an oil tanker in the Red Sea and you got U.S. military on it, and then they get captured by the Iranians. That's much different than a guy who's a vet going overseas, getting locked up for something he did over there. That's a whole different thing. So it's really a case by case basis, man. But thank you for your call. I got a few more. I got to get on the line. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 504, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. Great calls. I like the show. And also, I'm going to talk about some things. So basically, I do agree with the inflation is going up. I was talking to one of my relatives the other day about it, and that, like I was saying, the past few calls, that it was going to, keep going up and getting worse. And it did as I predicted, and people are not able to do the things they did before. And in my opinion, I do think that it's best for people to not waste money on things they don't need.
Right on. Absolutely.
Right. So I do think it would be good for people to always, if there's inflation or no inflation, that people would just, there's certain things that you could save or people could invest, and they don't have to go on all these vacations or things or get stuff that they don't necessarily need. So hopefully that could be a time for people to reflect on that. And I think those of rental houses you showed were very strange because it was like there's no gutters on them and they didn't have anything basic in the construction, and it's like they just abandoned them.
Yeah, it was really kind of strange. Maybe the crew wasn't there to work on it. I have no idea what was going on, but it was pretty strange.
Right, and yeah, the pipes can burst like 18, 20 degree weather, the freezing weather, and I do wonder if that happened in that situation over there. And also, I do think it'll be, interesting as we see 2024 goes on, how the different political things will go. And I do think it's good, Trump will get back in there. I think that'll be a good thing. And in the pandemic, I think that the situation, no one really knew what was going on, like with this thing, the disease that was coming over here. And I don't think he was intentionally trying to take away people's freedom. I think he was just doing like what they're like advising him to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Trump, I think at a certain point got some bad advice here and there, for sure.
Right. And overall, like, he had good intentions, and he mostly did very great things for the country and the border, because they're like letting in a whole nation of people through the border. And as you said, it's like the slavery thing back in the olden days. They're trying to bring that back again with the immigrants and take away the jobs of people. So I do think that it's important to look at his intentions and the broader things he did. And he's attacked all the time. He's going through all these trials and courts and stuff. And he sacrificed his old life to help this country. So I think he does, need more support than people hating on him.
Yeah, people make mistakes. That does happen. I'm not gonna hold a grudge toward someone for a mistake as long as they can make the mistake right, as long as they can make good on it and not keep repeating the same mistakes.
Exactly. I agree. We're all human. And also, I think because Joe Brandon, he certainly has done horrible things, and he has horrible advisors in that side. Like, they want to take the one Dem rep wanted the Statue of Liberty taken down, and I think so that side is really bonkers.
Yes, very much so.
Right. and also I do think that it's just, people have to keep, be united and not be divided about things. And then, the country will go forward. But, people have to remember to not accept, propaganda, be distracted by stuff, and stay on the main goal of the right track.
Gotta be focused. Can't be distracted. And that's part of what people try to do, try to distract you to get you off of course.
Right. One more thing before I go. I also was interested in wrestling. You talked about that last time. I watched the WWE too, and I saw the same stuff. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that was definitely an amazing time in history. Great entertainment. Loved it.
Right. My sister in Australia, she did wrestling. They had a wrestling thing similar to WWE over there, and she did good at it when she did it.
Oh wow, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, ABL. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to my man Alien Spaceship for the call, and shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That will help me out tremendously. All right, shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing. Couldn't do it without you. All right, so we're going to see what's happening here. We're going to see what's happening here coming up in the election cycle. I can't wait. I can't wait till the end of the whole term. I'm with it. I cannot wait for all of this to happen toward the end. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. But we're going to see how everything plays out. All right. But again, the number to call 434-658-1220. And shout out to you guys for the super chats and everything. I'll get to those toward the end. You guys are the best. The absolute best. And since I'm here, I got a little bit of time. Shout out to you guys for watching. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now. If you're listening to me right now on your favorite audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating. Give me a review. Do whatever you can. I most certainly appreciate it. I'm available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, everywhere. So you could search me on your favorite audio streaming platform, ABL Live. I should pop right up. Subscribe to me over there and show me some love on those platforms. I certainly appreciate you. Did I watch Jesse Lee Peterson, Larry Elder? I've not seen it. Is it a newer one or older one? I'm not sure. 757 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, Mr. Logan, Chesapeake Bob here, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm holding on. Hey, listen, I know there's been a couple calls about who Trump should vote for VP. Can I give you who I think he should pick?
Go for it.
I think he needs to pick either Kristi Noem or that girl from Hawaii with the white streak in her hair.
You talking about the Democrat?
Yeah.
So
why? She's more of a shaky pick, but this is why. Okay,
Tulsi Gabbard.
Trump needs to get Tulsi. Yeah, Trump needs to get voters he does not currently have. Now, Trump voters, and I am one of them, we're going to vote for Trump no matter what, right?
Well, I think if you have a Democrat as a VP, that might turn some off, but I think the majority of us would still stay.
Right. So who does he need to get? He needs to get white suburban women who voted against him in 2020. And the way he does that, in my humble opinion, is he needs to find somebody that appeals to them. Okay, and I think picking a woman would be a good pick. The fact that both of them are easy on the eyes, let's say that, doesn't hurt. Okay, and Kristi Noem more so, but Tulsi also believe in the things that people like myself and people like Trump want. Secure the border, cut inflation, get the taxes under control. So that is my reasoning, and I'm not saying it's right, but that is my reasoning why I think he should pick somebody like that. What do you think?
I mean, I see your point. I think maybe if it's between Kristi Noem and Tulsi Gabbard, I would say Kristi Noem because she's a conservative So I think that'd be somebody that could apply, that could appeal to the soccer mom type people that he might have missed out on last time. So I think that might be a good pick.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Trump doesn't know who I am, but I think those would be very good picks. I'm not saying that, like Brian Donaldson down in Florida, or even who's the senator from South Carolina?
Tim Scott.
Yeah. I think he would be a good pick as well. But they don't bring. Well, Tim Scott maybe a little bit, but they don't bring people that Trump lost the last time. And Trump needs to bring people that he lost the last time, because if they pull the things that they pull, he has to win overwhelmingly, just like he did in in Iowa. He's got to crush it. So anyhow, I just wanted to call and give you my opinion on who I think he should pick, and see if you thought maybe my reasoning was sound.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, sir. Well, you take care.
All right. Same to you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's keep on rocking here. Let's go to 315 on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. It's Troy from upstate New York. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well, man. About yourself?
Good. Hey, I got the perfect pick for Trump's VP.
All righty.
You. There you go, buddy. Problem solved, man.
There it is, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. That's all I wanted to say, man. Great show as usual, and love everything you do, man.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, buddy.
All right, shout out to you heard the man. It might have to be me. So shout out to him. All right, let's go to 208. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Terry, how are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to make a quick comment about Nikki Haley, and I'm sure you saw it, but I haven't heard anything of the two affairs she was caught having. The gentleman spoke about it.
Whoa, wait. I didn't hear about this. So Nikki Haley got caught having two affairs?
Yes, and I think one was in 2008. Her husband was overseas, and then another one was a year or so later. They showed the pictures of the guys, their comments, and they went into detail about going behind a building and her crawling on his lap, all that kind of stuff. So you might want to check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Okay.
Now I got a question. Was husband in the military?
Yeah, her husband is a National Guard, so he's over there now, and I believe that's the same thing he was doing, like 10 years ago too. Wow. But he was in the service and out of the country when this was going on.
I had no idea. Thank you for that. I'm gonna look into that and really just figure out what's happening. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Wow, did y'all hear about that? Am I the first one? Is today years old hearing that story? That's not cheating on the military husband. That's crazy. I gotta confirm this. I don't have any confirmation, but shout out to the caller. I'm gonna look into that. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for taking my call. I want to mention something about Trump in a minute, ABL. But first, I'd like to say a couple of things on your videos this week. And I'd like to encourage everybody to go watch your weekly videos. Some you covered during the live shows, on your live shows, and others you don't. But it's worthwhile because I know you put a lot of effort into it. First of all, the Sports Illustrated story about Sports Illustrated, going out of business and all that. Really what it is, ABL, in my opinion, is that's happening with all magazines and print and newspapers and everything else. People aren't reading. They're reading, but they're reading off of the computer and off of their phones. They're reading online stuff. Sports Illustrated as a magazine, as well as many, many other magazines. That's my generation. I like something physical in my hand. I still get a newspaper, delivered to my front porch. But most people don't get their news like that anymore. So those are going by the wayside. Then I like the video about the pay gap. I love the way they pick and choose between the facts. And I'll remind everybody, if they hadn't seen your video on the pay gap, that Australian woman, you know, they're saying that men get paid more than women do and all that, but they never take into an account that the man gets paid $50 an hour, the woman gets paid $50 an hour, but they're only looking at their yearly salary, not how many hours of overtime they worked, or if they worked days off or whatever, that they chose to stay home. You know, that's a myth. It's a myth. Men and women today pretty much make the same amount of money for the same amount of work. They do. You have to look at all the facts. And then one other thing, the thing about that Fani Willis, the DA, you know, when you're in a position of trust, the reason they call it a position of trust is because they realize that it's ripe for corruption if you don't get someone in there that is trustworthy. You know, even somebody like a condo president of your condo association, your condominium, you know, you have to trust these people that they don't hire their buddies and their friends as plumbers to fix the condo, you know, that they went out and got the best bid and the best reputation for a plumber, and they didn't enrich their friends. And that's the same thing with this DA. You know, she's enriching the people she sleeps with. Black Lives Matter has done that. You know, give all your friends money. You know, when you're in law enforcement, you don't go talking and telling people, hey, the guy in the bar there is undercover. I mean, there's certain things that you're trusted with, and you know, you prove to be untrustworthy once it's loaded with these corrupt people. Now, the thing about Trump. Listen, Trump did not betray anybody. Trump at least made certain decisions. You know, there was a problem with COVID. You don't know what it is. You don't know how bad it is. You hear the hype. People are dying. People, you know, not in numbers that they might have said, but you have a crisis. And you're looking to the drug companies, hey, can this be fixed? What do we do? You made a decision. But I'll tell you something that wouldn't have happened with Trump. He wouldn't have forced you to get the vaccine or lose your job as a policeman, a nurse, or any of these other things. He wouldn't have made it that you close outside and you close the beaches and things like that. You know, as you get more information, you then make more decisions that are, you know, appropriate with the information that you have. That's what you're supposed to do as a person. When I get more information, then you change your mind on how to proceed. You know, I'm working with what I have at the moment. You know, that's what people do in life. So Trump did not, you know, betray anybody. He made decisions, but he wouldn't have made the same decisions as the Biden administration and close everything down and all that nonsense. You make the decisions as you go along. Anyway, that's my 2 cents this week, ABL, and thanks for taking my call, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, ABL.
All right, great call. A great way to close it out. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. I'll be back again on Wednesday with the live streams, but I'm here every day with the pre-recorded content. So if for some reason you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so right now. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to you guys on the Facebook. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you. Shout out to you guys on the YouTube. Thank y'all. Shout out to everybody watching through, or not watching, but listening on your audio streaming platform. I appreciate y'all. And that will be a wrap for me. I'll be back, same bat time, same bat place, on Wednesday at 8 p.m. to right around now 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as I said, I'm here every day throughout the week putting out pre-recorded content. Shout out to you guys for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. Shout out to the mods keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all. You guys made the chat nice and neat. I love how you do that. And I got some super chats right here. I'm going to read, then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Where did I leave off? Let me see. Thank you to Zeddarch's Cane Sword for giving out 5 ABL memberships. I appreciate it. Thank you to Peter version 1, who says, couldn't get on the phone. Do you think COVID and the migrant problem was all a plan? They shut down schools, hotels, ended the lockdown, kept the lockdowns overseas, and now they are here, now war. You know what? I think that it was kind of a convenient set of circumstances that were manipulated to benefit certain people. I think that's what happened. I think the C-19 thing was some people in China just mishandling the virus in the lab. It leaks, deletes them over there, and then they don't lock down their country. They don't stop international travel, and these people go on planes and infect the whole world. And then there was a big scare, and then it's like, okay, how can we use this situation to take advantage of it? What can we get out of this quote unquote tragedy? What did they say? Never let a good tragedy go to waste. Isn't that the saying from the people, from the hires up? Thank you to ZH's King Sword, who says people blaming Trump for the vax seem to forget they were going to charge him for murder for every C-19 death. That's crazy. I remember that. I remember that whole talk going on. Thank you to Carlos Gaspar for the cup of Joe emoji. I appreciate you. Thank you to Rockvolution 2, who says Nikki Haley serving out hot curry back of the car. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I did find something on Daily Mail. When you Google that, the whole thing about Nikki Haley, some say it's a MAGA rumor. You know, that's how these people they create words and weaponize it against you. Willis to Make America Great Again, and then they use MAGA as a term to just try and say you guys are tinfoil hat wearing, one tooth in your mouth, redneck, all this and that. They try to make it be like that. That's how they use language against you. And then they're trying to change language, trying to make the Spanish language not even have any genders in it. Talking about some Latinx. What? Look, I'm on Duolingo learning Spanish, and everything is masculine or feminine. Everything. The whole language. How are you just going to change language like that? But they do that to make the language benefit them and their particular initiatives. That's how they do. So at a certain point, I refuse to let them just change language like that. Okay, that's not how it's going to be. Dictionaries and everything. When you know things are getting bad, when dictionaries are getting woke, are we going to need a non-woke dictionary to learn the English language and use words properly? This is why certain books shouldn't be taught, not only because of the outright pornography in books that are in children's schools, but also because a lot of the language in the books doesn't make any sense. When you're talking about a book about a non-binary gerbil that first graders read, and they see something in there about a singular entity being referred to as they, that's confusing. When you're trying to learn they being plural, he, she, okay, one male, one female. You see what I'm saying? These are confusing things, and it's meant to confuse you so they can manipulate you with what they think is correct, with what they say is the right way to be, the right way to speak. But anyway, shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.